I buried my father in a storm, and with him, any chance of a normal life for my 5 sisters and me, until he walked through our door, toolbox in hand, daughter by his side. They said a widowed janitor with a mysterious past couldn't last a day in our mansion, but something in his quiet strength made me feel safe for the first time since inheriting my father's fortune and the target it placed on our backs. When my aunt's greed turned deadly and the children disappeared, I discovered the man who fixed our broken pipes had also rebuilt my heart, piece by jagged piece. The bullet that grazed my shoulder that day taught me the one lesson my father's millions never could: that walls don't protect you, love does, even when it comes from the most unexpected places. Subscribe right now and drop a comment if you've ever found strength in someone others underestimated. This story of betrayal, rescue, and redemption might just change how you see the broken parts of your own life. Hit that subscribe button and drop a comment if you've ever known someone who rebuilt your walls when you were falling apart. I bury my father in a storm. The rain pelts the casket as they lower him into the ground. My 5 sisters huddle beside me under black umbrellas. I stand straight, my umbrella forgotten at my side. "Miss Vale," the lawyer touches my elbow. "The reading will begin in 1 hour." I nod once. Water streams down my face, mixing with tears I refuse to acknowledge. The mansion looms ahead as we drive back, gray stone against gray sky. Father built it to last centuries. Now it belongs to me, to us. Tessa, 17 and furious at the world, slams her door when we arrive. Sophie, only 6, clings to my hand. Between them stand Olivia, Violet, and Margot, ages varying like stair steps, faces identical in grief. "You can't control us," Tessa says later after the lawyer leaves. Her eyes flash defiance. "Father's will doesn't make you our mother." "No," I agree. The papers in my hand feel heavy. "But it makes me your guardian until each of you turns 21 or marries." The room falls silent. I explain the terms clearly, mechanically. I must keep the sisters together. I must maintain the estate. I must ensure their education and well-being. If I fail, everything, the mansion, the fortune, our security, transfers to Aunt Lucinda. She would separate us, I say. The thought freezes my blood. She would sell this house. Tessa's anger falters. She knows Lucinda's greed better than most. "So we're trapped here," Olivia says, 14 and too perceptive. "No," I say. "We're safe here. There's a difference." My bedroom that night feels cavernous. Father's desk has been moved here, my office now. I sit at it until dawn, reading financial reports, staff contracts, school records. Control requires knowledge. Knowledge demands sacrifice. The first maid quits the next morning. The second lasts until dinner. The third leaves crying after Tessa accidentally spills ink on her uniform. Days pass. The mansion grows dustier. Dishes pile up. Tessa skips school twice. Violet refuses to eat. Sophie has nightmares. I stand in Father's study, my study, and stare at his portrait. I don't know how to do this, I whisper to him. His painted eyes offer no answers. Marina, our elderly housekeeper who served the family for decades, knocks softly. "Miss Isadora, you need help." "The agency won't send any more maids." My voice sounds hollow. "Not a maid. Someone stronger. Someone who can fix things." Her wrinkled hand covers mine. "I know someone." I stare at the growing list of repairs on my desk. Broken windows, leaking pipes, faulty wiring. Father's illness had left the mansion in decay long before his death. "Call them," I say. I buried my father, and myself with him. He arrives at noon the next day, tall, broad shoulders, dark hair cut short, worn jeans, clean white t-shirt. A small girl clutches his hand. maybe 6 or 7 years old, with the same serious dark eyes. I stand at the top of the stairs, watching. "Mr. Cruz," Marina says. "This is Miss Vale." He looks up. Our eyes meet. I expect him to bow his head, to shuffle his feet, to show the proper deference. He doesn't. "Ms. Vale," he says. His voice is steady, respectful but not subservient. "I understand you need help with repairs and maintenance." "And child wrangling," Marina adds with a pointed look at me. My jaw tightens. "I need someone who can fix what's broken, nothing more." "I can fix most things," he says. His daughter presses against his leg, watching me with cautious eyes. "My daughter Clara comes with me. That's non-negotiable." I descend the stairs slowly, each step measured. Up close, I notice the calluses on his hands, the faint scar above his right eyebrow, the steadiness of his gaze. "Why should I hire you, Mr. Cruz?" I ask. "Because I need the job, because I'm good at what I do." He pauses. "And because I won't quit when your sisters test me. Children test boundaries. It's natural." My eyes narrow. "You think you understand my family situation?" "I understand children who've lost a parent." His voice is quiet, the words simple but heavy with unspoken meaning. The small girl, Clara, watches me with solemn eyes. I notice her worn but clean dress, the careful braids in her hair, the silent way she observes everything. "One-day trial," I say finally. "Marina will show you the most urgent repairs. There's a room in the east wing for staff. Your daughter can stay in the adjoining room." "Thank you." No smile, no excessive gratitude, just acknowledgement. I turn and walk away, feeling his eyes on my back. Something about his direct gaze unsettles me. People usually look away first. He didn't bow. The crash comes just after breakfast, glass shattering followed by Tessa's laughter. I run downstairs to find my sister standing amid broken pottery, Mr. Cruz kneeling to sweep up the shards. "It slipped," Tessa says with false innocence. I feel the familiar anger rising. "Tessa." "It's no problem," Mr. Cruz says, continuing his work. "Accidents happen." Tessa's triumphant smile fades, replaced by confusion. She was looking for confrontation, for a reason to hate him. His calm acceptance disarms her. "Where's your daughter?" I ask, changing the subject. "With Marina in the kitchen." He stands, dustpan full of broken ceramic. "She likes to draw." Marina gave her paper and pencils. The next incident comes within the hour. The upstairs bathroom floods, water cascading down the grand staircase. Margot, 10 years old and usually quiet, admits she stuffed towels in the sink and left the water running to see what would happen. Mr. Cruz works silently, efficiently. He turns off the water main, unclogs the drain, mops the floors. His movements are precise, economical. By afternoon, the boiler breaks. No hot water, no heat. "I can fix it," he says, rolling up his sleeves. "Might take a few hours." "My sisters are testing you," I say flatly. "This is deliberate." He looks at me, something almost like amusement in his eyes. "I know." "And that doesn't bother you?" "They're scared. Acting out is easier than being vulnerable." He selects a wrench from his toolbox. "I have a 7-year-old. The tactics differ, but the reason is the same." I watch him work from the doorway, arms crossed. His movements are confident. He knows what he's doing. Dinner that night is the first meal we've all eaten together since the funeral. Mr. Cruz fixed the dining room light that had been flickering for months. Sophie tells us about drawing with Clara. Tessa remains silent but eats her food. Olivia asks Mr. Cruz about the boiler, her scientific mind curious. Their voices rise and fall, not happy but not heavy with grief either. Normal, almost. I watch from the head of the table, suddenly unsure of my place. They don't need me to speak for them. They don't look to me for permission or approval. Mr. Cruz catches my eye across the table. He nods slightly, as if confirming something to himself. The house laughed with him. I didn't. Miss Vale, your situation is precarious. Mr. Blackwood, Aunt Lucinda's lawyer, sits across from me in the study. His suit is expensive, his smile practiced. Your father's will has certain vulnerabilities. The will is ironclad, I respond. Papers cover the desk between us. Financial statements, property deeds, legal documents. Father made certain of that. But your guardianship isn't. His smile widens. 5 minor children? A young unmarried woman with no experience in child rearing? The courts might consider alternatives. My hands tighten on the armrests. You mean they might consider Lucinda? Your aunt has expressed concern about the children's welfare. He adjusts his glasses. The recent staff turnover, for instance. 5 housekeepers in 2 weeks? My jaw clenches. We're in a period of adjustment. And the reports of property damage, the missed school days? He places a folder on the desk. Your sister Tessa has been absent 4 times already this month. How did you get those records? My voice rises. Those are private. Nothing is truly private when children's safety is at stake. His voice drips with false concern. Judge Harris tends to agree with that perspective. He and Mrs. Vale are old friends, I believe. The threat hangs in the air. Lucinda has connections, influence, money to spread around. Get out of my house. My voice is ice. Consider your position carefully, Miss Vale. He stands, straightening his tie. Your aunt is prepared to be generous if you step aside voluntarily. The door closes behind him. I grab the crystal paperweight from Father's desk and hurl it at the wall. Glass shatters, falling like diamond tears onto the carpet. I stand there, breathing hard, shame rising to replace anger. I've lost control. Exactly what Lucinda wants to prove. Hours later, long after the grandfather clock in the hall strikes midnight, I walk the dark corridors of my home. A soft scraping sound comes from the library. I pause, then push the door open slowly. Mr. Cruz kneels by the window, carefully removing broken glass from the frame. The window I broke during my earlier rage. You should be sleeping, I say. He doesn't startle, doesn't turn. The wind was whistling through the crack, might wake the children. I step closer. I broke it. I know. His voice holds no judgment. You don't ask why. Not my business. He fits a temporary patch over the broken pane. I'll replace the glass tomorrow. I watch his hands work, steady and sure. Why are you really here, Mr. Cruz? This job, it's beneath someone with your skills. He looks up then, his eyes finding mine in the dim light. No honest work is beneath anyone, Miss Vale. Isadora, I say, surprising myself. Elias, he responds. The silence that follows isn't uncomfortable. It hangs between us, a fragile thing neither of us wishes to break. Good night, Elias, I say finally, turning to leave. Good night, Isadora. His voice is quiet in the darkness behind me. His silence was louder than my rage. The smell wakes me, something burning. I bolt upright, heart pounding. Smoke, fire, my sisters. I run barefoot down the hall, throwing open doors. Tessa, Olivia. Their rooms are empty. Panic rises. Violet, Margot, Sophie. Voices drift up from below. I race down the grand staircase, following the acrid scent to the kitchen. They're all there, my sisters gathered around the island counter. Elias stands at the stove, scraping blackened remains from a pan while Sophie giggles. What happened? I demand. 5 heads turn toward me. Elias continues scraping. We tried to make breakfast, Tessa says, defiant yet sheepish. It didn't work out. You could have burned the house down. My voice shakes. I supervised, Elias says calmly. The smoke alarm battery was dead. I've replaced it. You encourage this? I step closer to him, anger overtaking relief. He meets my gaze. They wanted to do something nice for you. The fight drains out of me. I look at my sisters, even Tessa, watching me with hopeful eyes. The kitchen counter holds evidence of their efforts: eggshells, spilled flour, a bowl of lumpy batter. Words fail me. A loud crash interrupts the moment. The floor trembles beneath our feet. The boiler, Elias says, suddenly alert. He moves toward the basement door. Everyone stay here. What's wrong with it? I follow him. Could be pressure buildup. Stay back. He opens the basement door. Smoke billows up the stairs. The girls, I say, turning back toward my sisters. Get them outside, he orders. No longer the employee, but someone taking charge. Now. I usher my sisters toward the front door, counting heads. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's Sophie? Tessa asks, her voice high with panic. I spin around. The youngest isn't with us. She was just here, Olivia cries. Stay together, I command, already running back inside. Sophie. The smoke grows thicker. I hear Sophie's frightened cry from the kitchen. She stands frozen, clutching her stuffed rabbit. Come here. I reach for her. A massive boom shakes the house. The basement door blasts open, a fireball roaring into the kitchen. I grab Sophie, shielding her with my body, but the force of the explosion throws us back. Strong arms encircle us both. Elias pulls us away from the flames, covering us with his body as debris rains down. His heartbeat thunders against my back, his breath warm on my neck. Are you hurt? He asks, voice rough. No. My answer emerges as a whisper. Sophie? He shifts to look at the child between us. She shakes her head, eyes wide with fear. The fire alarm shrieks. Elias helps us up, keeping Sophie's hand in his. Out, now. We stumble outside to join my other sisters on the lawn. Marina arrives moments later, having heard the explosion from her cottage at the edge of the property. Firefighters come, inspect the damage. The boiler is destroyed, but the fire was contained to the basement. Old wiring, they say. An accident waiting to happen. I stand apart, watching as paramedics check Sophie for injuries. Elias speaks with the fire chief, pointing toward the house, explaining the ancient electrical system. He saved us. Without thought, without hesitation, he placed himself between us and danger. I wrap my arms around myself, suddenly aware I'm still in my nightgown, feet bare and dirty. My eyes find Elias across the lawn. He looks back, concern etched on his features. The world exploded and he covered me. You'll stay in the guest wing. I stand in the doorway of Elias's small staff room, watching him fold clothes into a drawer. Clara sits cross-legged on the bed, a picture book open before her. That's not necessary, he says without looking up. The wiring in this section of the house is questionable. My tone brooks no argument. Until it's inspected and repaired, it's not safe. And the guest wing is safer? He turns to face me now, skeptical. It was renovated last year, Father's last project. I smooth my skirt, a nervous gesture I immediately regret. There's a suite with connecting rooms. You and Clara will be more comfortable there. His eyes search my face. Is that an order, Ms. Vale? A request, I say, softening my tone. For safety. Something shifts in his expression. Surprise, perhaps. Clara watches our exchange with quiet interest. Very well, he agrees finally, until the repairs are complete. I nod, oddly relieved. I'll have Marina prepare the rooms. Later, I pace the length of my bedroom, replaying the morning's events. the explosion, the heat of the flames, the solid weight of Elias's body shielding mine. My chest tightens at the memory. No one has protected me since Mother died. I've been the protector, the responsible one, the rock. The sensation of being sheltered, even for seconds, awakened something I've kept buried. A knock interrupts my thoughts. "Come in," I call. Marina enters carrying fresh towels. The rooms are ready. Mr. Cruz and his daughter are settling in. "Thank you." I resume my pacing. "He's a good man," she says, watching me, steady, reliable. I stop walking. "You recommended him for a reason." She nods. "I knew his wife, before she passed. They were happy. He was broken after, but never stopped caring for that little girl." "What happened to his wife?" The question slips out before I can stop it. Marina's expression clouds. "Not my story to tell, Miss Isadora." I accept this with a nod. "How are the girls?" Calm now. Sophie's with Clara drawing pictures. The older ones are in the library. She places the towels on my bed. "They like him." "He fixes things," I say dismissively. "He sees them," Marina corrects me. "Different thing entirely." After she leaves, I stand at my window. From here, I can see the guest wing, lights glowing warm against the twilight. Elias stands at a window, Clara beside him. He points to something in the distance, and she laughs. My reflection stares back at me from the glass. Rigid posture, guarded expression, eyes that trust nothing and no one. When did I build these walls so high? I ordered him to stay, knowing I'd already wanted him to. You can't just give them an entire room for painting. I stand in the doorway of the old sunroom, now transformed. Drop cloths cover the floor. Easels stand by the windows. Paint bottles line shelves along one wall. Elias looks up from where he kneels beside Clara and Sophie, helping them mix colors. The light is perfect here. It was sitting empty. That's not the point. My frustration builds. "You should have asked me first." "You're right." He stands, wiping his hands on a rag. I apologize. His easy admission deflates my anger. I expected resistance, argument. Instead, he accepts responsibility without excuse. I would have said yes, I admit, softer. "Next time, I'll ask." He gestures to the girls. They needed this. Sophie's face is alight with concentration as she drags her brush across paper. Clara works beside her, their shoulders touching. Two quiet children finding joy in colors and creation. Clara's very talented, I observe, moving closer to see their work. Her mother was an artist. Elias's voice holds a note I haven't heard before, a gentle pride tinged with sadness. Sophie has a good eye, too. I watch my youngest sister, realizing I know little about her interests. Father's illness consumed my attention these past years. Then his death, then the will and its demands. "What are you painting?" I ask Sophie. She holds up her paper. Bold strokes of blue and green form what might be the ocean. "Our house. See? There's the cliff and the sea." I look out the windows to the dramatic coastline beyond our property. She's captured the essence of it, not the details, but the feeling. "It's beautiful," I tell her honestly. Her smile blooms, rare and precious. Over the next hour, my other sisters drift in. Violet selects paints for her own project. Margot asks Elias to help her draw a cat. Even Tessa appears, pretending disinterest before claiming an easel in the corner. I stand back, watching them. Light streams through the tall windows. Paint splatters the drop cloths. My sisters laugh and argue and create. The room pulses with life. Elias moves among them, offering guidance here, encouragement there. His presence is steady, unobtrusive yet essential. Clara follows Sophie to the paint shelf. their small hands reaching together for the same bottle of red. "You should join them," Elias says quietly, appearing at my side. "I have work to do." The excuse sounds hollow even to my ears. 10 minutes, he says. "The estate won't collapse if you take 10 minutes for yourself." Our eyes meet. Challenge sparks between us, but not antagonism. Something different. 10 minutes, I agree. He leads me to an empty easel, hands me a brush. Our fingers brush, and I nearly drop it. His skin is warm against mine. "What should I paint?" I ask, suddenly uncertain. "Whatever you see," he says simply. I look around the room, at my sisters engaged in their art, at Clara's concentrated expression, at the light playing across the wooden floors. For the first time in months, perhaps years, I see color. "Thank you," I whisper, meaning it. His smile reaches his eyes. "Paint, Isadora." And I do. Color returned to my world. The laundry room hums with the sound of the washing machine. I sort clothes mechanically, separating colors from whites. Elias's work shirts, the girls' school uniforms, my blouses. Marina usually handles this task, but she's taken the girls shopping for art supplies. I need the mindless activity, the simple accomplishment of clean clothes. Something falls from the pocket of Elias's jacket, a folded photograph, edges worn with handling. I pick it up, intending to return it to the pocket. My fingers unfold it before I can stop myself. A woman smiles at the camera, dark hair falling past her shoulders. She holds a toddler, Clara, years younger, on her lap. Elias stands behind them, his hand on the woman's shoulder, his face younger and unguarded, happy, his wife, the woman he lost. That's private. His voice, sharp and cold, startles me. I turn to find him in the doorway, expression dark. "I'm sorry." I hold out the photo. "It fell from your pocket." He crosses the room in 3 strides, takes the picture from my hand. For a brief moment, something raw and painful flashes across his face. Grief and rage so intense I take a step back. "Elias." "Don't." His voice cuts like glass. He folds the photo carefully, tucking it into his shirt pocket close to his heart. I feel shame burn my cheeks. "I didn't mean to pry." "Yes, you did." His words land with precision. "You want to know who I am, what happened to me, why I'm here, fixing your broken house for barely enough to feed my daughter." My breath catches at his directness. You don't trust anyone," he continues, anger giving way to something sadder. "So you look for reasons to keep your distance, reasons to doubt." "That's not fair," I protest, but the words ring hollow. "No," he agrees, "it's not." We stand facing each other in the small laundry room, the washing machine whirring between us. I want to apologize properly, to explain that trust doesn't come easily to me, that responsibility has made me cautious. Instead, I say, "She was beautiful." His expression softens slightly. "Yes, she was." Clara has her smile. I venture this carefully, a peace offering, and her talent. He runs a hand through his hair, and her stubborn streak. The moment stretches between us, not comfortable, but no longer hostile. "I should finish this," I say, gesturing to the laundry. He nods. "I need to check the roof before the storm hits. The east corner is leaking again." We're back to employer and employee. The brief connection breaks. As he turns to leave, I call after him. "Elias?" He pauses, looking back. "I really am sorry." He studies me for a long moment. "I know." After he's gone, I sit on the edge of the washing machine, hands trembling slightly. The anger in his eyes haunts me. Not just the anger, the pain beneath it, fresh and bleeding, not scarred over. I realize how little I know about this man who's become central to our household, who protects my sisters, who covered my body during the explosion, who brings color and warmth to our cold, grieving home. His past remains a mystery, his present purpose unclear. He's not who he pretends to be. The envelope arrives on a Tuesday morning, official court seal glaring from heavy cream paper. I open it at my desk, the study silent except for the ticking clock. Petition for transfer of guardianship. My hands shake as I read further. Lucinda Vale, my father's sister, seeks custody of my sisters. The document lists her qualifications, her stable marriage, her experience raising her own children, her financial security. It lists my deficiencies with equal precision, my youth, my inexperience, the chaotic and potentially dangerous environment of Vale Mansion. The incident with the boiler is mentioned specifically. Someone has been watching us, reporting back to her. I press my palms against the desk, steadying myself. This was always her plan. Father's illness, his death, the will. She waited until we were vulnerable, then struck. Marina finds me there, still staring at the papers. Miss Isadora. The school called. Tessa skipped her afternoon classes again. Not now, Marina. My voice sounds distant to my own ears. She steps closer, sees the petition. Her face hardens. She won't win. She has money, connections, a judge who owes her favors. I feel the control I've fought for slipping away. And now she has evidence. Evidence of what? Elias stands in the doorway, tools in hand. Sorry to interrupt. The bathroom pipe is fixed. I shouldn't tell him. This is family business, private and painful. Yet something in his steady presence pulls the truth from me. My aunt wants custody of my sisters. The words taste bitter. She's filed a formal petition with the court. He sets his tools down, approaches the desk. May I? I push the papers toward him. He reads quickly, efficiently, his expression darkening. She cites the boiler explosion as evidence of an unsafe environment, he says. That was an infrastructure issue, not negligence. The court won't see the difference. I stand, pacing the length of the room. She's painted me as an incompetent guardian. The repairs, the staff turnover, Tessa's behavior. You need witnesses. Elias looks up from the papers. People who can testify to your care for your sisters, to the improvements being made to the house. Who? The 5 maids who quit. The teachers who call weekly about Tessa? I laugh, a sharp, humorless sound. Marina, certainly, but she'll be seen as biased. I'll testify. His voice is quiet but firm. I've been here every day. I've seen how you care for them. I stop pacing, caught off guard by his offer. Why would you do that? Because it's true. He meets my gaze directly. And because children should stay with family who love them when possible. Something in his tone speaks of personal pain. I remember the photograph, his lost wife, Clara's missing mother. The hearing is in 3 weeks, I say, returning to the desk. We need to prepare. Documentation of repairs, school records showing improvement, character witnesses. Make a list. He stands, professional again. We'll tackle it systematically. We? The word slips out before I can stop it. He pauses at the door. You're not alone in this, Isadora. The simple statement hits me with unexpected force. I've been alone since Mother died, since Father retreated into his illness, since I became the responsible one, the rock, the guardian. Thank you, I say, meaning it. He nods once, then leaves. I stare at the door long after. He's gone, feeling something unfamiliar stirring in my chest. Hope. The storm hits after midnight, wind screaming against the windows like a living thing. I lie awake, listening to the old house creak and moan. A sharp crack sends me bolting upright. Thunder? No, something breaking, I throw on a robe and hurry into the hallway. Water drips from the ceiling at the far end, forming a puddle on the hardwood floor. The girls' rooms are nearby. Elias appears from the guest wing, flashlight in hand. He wears only pajama bottoms, his chest bare in the dim light. I avert my eyes, oddly flustered. "The roof," he says, pointing his light at the growing stain above. "I'll check the attic access." "I'm coming with you." I tie my robe tighter. "It's above the girls' rooms." We climb the narrow attic stairs together. The air smells of dust and old wood. Rain drums against the roof, louder here. Elias's flashlight cuts through darkness, revealing exposed beams and forgotten trunks. "There." He points to water streaming through a section of damaged roof. "Hand me that bucket." I pass him a rusty pail from a stack of old containers. He positions it under the worst of the leak, then examines the damaged area. "We need to cover this temporarily." He glances around the attic. "Tarp or heavy plastic? Check those boxes." I rummage through cobweb-covered trunks while he braces a board against the sagging ceiling. Working together feels strangely natural. He gives directions without condescension. I follow without resentment. "Found something." I pull out an old shower curtain from a box of household items. "Will this work?" "Perfect." He takes it, climbs higher on the beams. "Hold the flashlight steady." I direct the beam where he works, watching his hands secure the plastic over the damaged section. Rain still leaks through, but slower now, controlled. "It will hold until morning," he says, climbing down. "Then I'll need proper materials." We stand close in the narrow space. Water drips rhythmically into the bucket. Lightning flashes through the small attic window, illuminating his face for a second. The scar above his eyebrow, the shadow of stubble along his jaw, the intensity of his eyes. My breath catches. "We should check on the girls," I say quickly, turning toward the stairs. "Isadora." His hand touches my arm, stopping me. "You're shivering." I hadn't noticed the chill until now. My nightgown and robe offer little protection against the attic's dampness. "I'm fine," I lie. He removes his hand but doesn't move away. "You take good care of everyone else. Who takes care of you?" The question hangs between us, unexpected and uncomfortable. I've never considered it, never allowed myself to. I don't need taking care of. I straighten my shoulders. I need to be strong for my sisters. Strength isn't the same as isolation. His voice is gentle, his eyes seeing too much. Even the strongest person needs help sometimes. Another crack of thunder shakes the house. "Zoe." Flashlight flickers between us, shadows dancing across his face. His eyes find mine. My chest tightens with an emotion I can't name. "We should go," I whisper. He nods, but neither of us moves. We stand frozen in that moment, the storm raging outside, something equally powerful building between us. A door slams somewhere below. The spell breaks. "That's probably Sophie," I say. "She's afraid of storms." We descend the attic stairs, returning to our respective roles, guardian, employee. Yet something has shifted between us, subtle but undeniable. His hand brushed mine, and everything stilled. "I want to increase your salary." I sit behind Father's desk, figures spread before me. 2 weeks have passed since the petition arrived. The hearing looms closer each day. Elias stands by the window, arms crossed. "Why?" "You've taken on more responsibility than we initially discussed." I gesture to the papers. "Building repairs, maintenance, helping with the girls. It's only fair." "I don't need charity." His voice hardens slightly. "It's not charity. It's compensation." I feel my temper rising to match his. The going rate for a property manager with your skills is significantly higher than what you're currently paid. I agreed to the current rate. Why are you being so stubborn about this? I stand, frustration bubbling over. Most people would be grateful for a raise. His eyes flash. I don't want your money, Isadora. Then what do you want? The question bursts from me, raw and demanding. Silence falls between us. The grandfather clock ticks in the corner. Outside, gardeners trim hedges under a clear autumn sky. Respect, he says finally, not to be seen as someone you can buy. Is that what you think? That I'm trying to buy your loyalty? I circle the desk, moving closer to him. That's not what this is. Isn't it? His voice is quiet but intense. You're worried about the hearing. You need me to testify. So suddenly, you offer more money. That's unfair, I say, hurt blooming beneath my anger. You've earned this. Your work, your care for the house, for the girls. Then why now? He steps closer, the space between us charged with tension. Why not last week? Or next month? Why exactly when you need my help most? His accusation stings because a part of me recognizes its truth. The timing isn't coincidental, but his rejection feels like more than professional pride. It feels personal. You think you know me so well. I lift my chin, defensive. You think you understand my motives. I think you're scared, he says, his voice softening slightly. I think you believe money solves problems, buys security, keeps people from leaving. The observation cuts too close to the bone. I turn away, arms wrapped around myself. That's how it's always been in my family, I admit. Father threw money at problems. Lucinda values wealth above all else. Even my sisters measure their worth by what they own. And you? Elias asks quietly. I stare out the window, at the vast grounds, the manicured gardens, the stone walls that separate us from the world. I never wanted any of it, I whisper. Just them, my sisters, together and safe. The silence stretches between us, no longer angry but filled with unspoken understanding. Keep your money, he says finally. I'll still testify at the hearing, not for payment, because it's right. He moves toward the door. I want to call him back, to explain that the raise wasn't meant as manipulation, that I respect him more than he knows. Instead, I say nothing. I watch him leave, his back straight, his pride intact. The door closes softly behind him. The room feels colder without his presence. Something important has broken between us, and I don't know how to fix it. We're not safe anymore. Miss Isadora. Marina's voice pulls me from financial reports spread across the desk. A week has passed since my argument with Elias. We've been polite but distant, the easy rapport between us replaced by formal courtesy. What is it, Marina? I rub my tired eyes. I found this while cleaning the master suite. She places a sealed envelope before me. It was hidden in your father's nightstand drawer. My father's handwriting graces the front. For Isadora, open after my death. My hands tremble slightly as I break the seal. Marina stays, her presence comforting as I unfold the letter inside. My dearest daughter, I read aloud, my father's voice seeming to fill the room. If you're reading this, I'm gone. Forgive an old man for lacking the courage to tell you this while living. Marina sits in the chair opposite the desk, her lined face solemn. The burden I've placed on you is heavier than you know, the letter continues. Lucinda has been stealing from the estate for years, siphoning funds through false invoices, fabricated investments, ghost employees. I discovered this too late, when my illness had already weakened me beyond fighting. I look up, shocked. Did you know about this? Marina shakes her head. I suspected something. the way she would appear when your father was at his weakest, always leaving with documents to sign. I returned to the letter, my father's elegant script growing shakier toward the end. The evidence is in the blue ledger, hidden in my law office downtown. The combination to the safe is your mother's birthday. Use it wisely, Isadora. Protect your sisters. Forgive me for my weakness. All my love, Father. Silence falls after I finish reading. Outside, rain begins to tap against the windows. She's been plotting this for years, I say finally, anger building inside me. Taking what was ours, waiting for Father to die so she could take the rest. The ledger, Marina says. You must retrieve it before the hearing. I'll go tomorrow. I fold the letter carefully. The office has been closed since his death. No one will have disturbed it. Marina rises to leave, then hesitates. Will you tell Mr. Cruz? The question catches me off guard. Why would I? Her knowing eyes see too much. Because you trust him whether you admit it or not, and because you might need his help. After she leaves, I sit alone in the growing darkness. Father's betrayal cuts deep. He knew of Lucinda's thievery, yet did nothing. Left the burden to me, along with everything else. Elias's words from our argument echo in my mind. You're scared. He was right. I've been terrified since Father's death, since the will named me guardian, since Lucinda's petition threatened to take away the only family I have left. I stand, decision made. I need to tell him, not because I require his help, though I might, but because Marina is right. Despite everything, I do trust him. I find him in the greenhouse repairing a broken pane. Clara sits nearby, drawing plants in her sketchbook. Elias. My voice sounds strange to my own ears. May I speak with you? Privately? He studies my face, seeing something there that makes him nod. Clara, go find Sophie. Tell her I said you could paint together until dinner. Clara gathers her things and leaves, giving me a shy smile as she passes. When we're alone, I tell him everything. The letter, Lucinda's theft, the hidden ledger. My voice remains steady until the end, when emotion finally breaks through. My father knew, I say, anger and grief mingling. He knew what she was doing and did nothing to stop her. Elias listens without interrupting, his expression grave. When I finish, he says simply, I'll drive you to the office tomorrow. You don't have to, I know. His eyes meet mine, the distance of the past week dissolving. I want to. Relief washes through me, not just for his offer of help, but for the connection restored between us. My breath releases in a shaky exhale. Thank you, I say. He nods once, then returns to the broken pane. I watch his hands work for a moment, steady and sure before turning to leave. Isadora, he calls after me. When I look back, his eyes are serious. Be careful. People who steal are often capable of worse. His warning follows me back to the house, settling like a cold weight in my stomach. For the first time, I consider that this fight with Lucinda might be more dangerous than I imagined. They took them. The ledger sits in my safe now, its pages filled with damning evidence, canceled checks, forged signatures, falsified invoices, enough to destroy Lucinda at the hearing, perhaps even enough for criminal charges. Yet victory feels hollow. Father's betrayal, Lucinda's greed, the ugliness of family turning against family. It leaves a bitter taste. I walk the grounds alone, seeking fresh air to clear my mind. October paints the estate in golds and reds. The path leads me to a secluded corner near the old stone wall. Voices drift from behind a hedge. Small voices. Children. I follow the sound to find Sophie and Clara kneeling in freshly turned soil. They've created a tiny garden, bordered by collected stones. Sophie plants something while Clara carefully waters previous efforts. "What are you doing?" I ask, stepping into their hidden space. Both girls look up, startled then relaxed when they recognize me. "Planting flowers," Sophie says, "for spring." "Bulbs," Clara adds, her voice soft but clear. "Tulips and daffodils. My mother taught me." I kneel beside them, heedless of my skirt touching the dirt. "May I help?" Sophie nods eagerly, handing me a small trowel and a brown bulb. "Dig a hole, not too deep." I follow her instructions, conscious of being taught by my 6-year-old sister. Clara watches with serious eyes, then nods approvingly when I place the bulb correctly. "Now cover it," she directs, "gently." I pat soil over the bulb. "Will it grow?" "In spring," Sophie says with absolute certainty. "They're sleeping now." Clara points to a withered rose bush nearby. "That one's sick." We sing to it. "You sing to the roses?" I ask, bemused. Sophie nods. "Daddy used to sing to Mom's flowers when they looked sad. It helped them." My heart squeezes at the mention of Father. At this side of him I never saw. Tender, nurturing, singing to flowers to please our mother. "Show me," I request. The girls look at each other, then at me. After a moment's hesitation, they begin a soft, sweet melody. A lullaby I recognize from my own childhood. Mother's lullaby. My eyes burn with unexpected tears. I blink them away, unwilling to upset the children. Movement catches my attention. Elias stands at the garden entrance, watching his daughter sing. His expression holds such love, such pride, that I almost can't bear to witness it. Our eyes meet over the children's heads. Something passes between us, understanding perhaps, or recognition of shared pain. Sophie notices him then. "Mr. Cruz, we showed Miss Isadora how to plant bulbs. I see that." He smiles, the expression transforming his serious face. "You're becoming excellent gardeners." "Will you sing too?" Clara asks him, reaching out her small hand. A shadow crosses his features. "Not today, sweetheart." I rise, brushing dirt from my skirt. "I should go. I have work to finish before dinner." "Join us," Elias says suddenly. "For dinner, I mean. In the kitchen, not the dining room. The girls have been asking." I hesitate. The formal dining room has always been our tradition. Father insisted on proper meals, proper behavior, proper distance. "Please?" Sophie looks up with hopeful eyes. "Clara says her dad makes funny pancakes for dinner sometimes." "Pancakes for dinner?" I feign shock. "Is that allowed?" Clara giggles, the sound bright and unexpected. "On special days." "And is today special?" I ask, looking from her to Elias. "It could be," he answers, holding my gaze. Something shifts inside me, a loosening of rules I've held too tightly, of expectations that no longer serve us, of grief that's kept us frozen in place. "Pancakes sound perfect," I say, smiling at the children's delight. We walk back to the house together, Sophie and Clara skipping ahead, Elias and I following at a measured pace. "Thank you," he says quietly. "For what?" "For seeing them." He watches his daughter with tender eyes. "For being part of this moment." His words mirror Marina's from weeks ago. He sees them. I'm beginning to understand what she meant. Seeing goes beyond observation. It means recognition, acceptance, presence. "They're healing," I say, watching the girls race each other to the kitchen door. "Maybe we can too." He doesn't respond, but his hand brushes mine briefly as we walk. The touch sends warmth through my fingers, up my arm, settling somewhere deep in my chest. His eyes found mine. I hope so. Elias stands at the cottage window, watching clouds gather over the distant sea. Clara sleeps in the small bedroom. exhausted from gardening with Sophie. The house behind him is quiet, empty of the ghosts that once filled it. He thinks of Isadora Vale, her strength, her walls, her moments of vulnerability, how she knelt in the dirt today, letting children teach her, how different she is from the cold woman who interviewed him 2 months ago. The photograph burns in his pocket. Elena smiling, always smiling, even at the end. 2 years ago tonight, the smell of smoke, Clara's screams, the heat of flames against his face as he fought to reach the bedroom. Too late, always too late. Accusations followed, whispers in the small town, investigation. The fire marshal's report finally clearing him, but suspicions lingering. Neighbors who once brought casseroles crossing the street to avoid him. Clara's silence lasting months, her small body rigid with grief and trauma. "Daddy?" Her voice pulls him from memory. She stands in the doorway, hair tousled from sleep. "Hey, sweetheart." He kneels, opening his arms. She comes to him, warm and solid and real. "I dreamed of Mommy," she says against his shoulder. "She was in the garden with me and Sophie." His throat tightens. That sounds like a nice dream. "She said the flowers will grow big and yellow." Clara pulls back to see his face. "Do you think they really will?" "I'm sure they will." He smooths her hair. "Your mother knew about growing things." Clara nods, accepting this as truth. Miss Isadora's hands were gentle with the bulbs, like Mommy's. The comparison startles him. "They're very different people, Clara." "Not inside," his daughter says with a child's certainty. "They both have sad eyes but kind hands." Her perception unsettles him. He's tried to keep his growing feelings for Isadora separate from his life with Clara, to maintain boundaries between employer and employee, between past and potential future. "Time for bed," he says, lifting her. "Big day tomorrow." "Are we staying here?" Clara asks as he tucks her back under the covers. "At the big house?" "For now," he answers carefully. "While they need us." She yawns, eyes already closing. "I like it here. Sophie needs us." He kisses her forehead, wondering when his cautious daughter became so attached to the Vale, family. Wondering when he did too. Back at the window, he watches lights burn in the main house. Isadora will be in her study, poring over the ledger, preparing for battle with her aunt, fighting to keep her family intact. He understands that fight, respects it, admires her for it. The photograph weighs heavy in his pocket. Elena would want him to move forward, to build something new from the ashes of their life together, to help Clara find happiness again. But the whispers follow him still, the suspicions. The fragile trust he's building with the Vales could shatter if those rumors reached them. If Isadora knew everything. The thought chills him more than it should, more than is professional or prudent, because somewhere between fixing broken windows and watching her kneel in garden soil, Elias Cruz has begun to care what Isadora Vale thinks of him, and that terrifies him more than fire ever could. "You can't seriously be considering this." Elias paces the length of my study, hands clenched at his sides. The invitation sits on my desk between us. Heavy cream stationery, elegant script. "Lucinda Vale requests the pleasure of your company for dinner, this evening at 8 o'clock. It's an opportunity, I say, though doubt gnaws at my certainty, to understand her strategy before the hearing. It's a trap." He stops pacing to face me. "She's planning something." "Of course she is." I stand, smoothing my skirt. "That's precisely why I should go. Know your enemy, Elias. At least let me drive you." His voice leaves no room for argument. "I'll wait outside." "That won't be necessary." I move toward the door, signaling the end of discussion. "Marina can—" "I'm driving you." The steel in his tone stops me. This isn't negotiable, Isadora. Our eyes meet across the room. The intensity in his gaze makes my breath catch. Fine, I concede. But you wait in the car. 6 hours later, dressed in a simple black dress, I slide into the passenger seat of Elias's truck. The vehicle is old but meticulously maintained, like everything he touches. You look nice, he says, eyes fixed on the road ahead. Thank you. I smooth imaginary wrinkles from my dress, oddly nervous about his observation. It was my mother's. I altered it. She had good taste. His hands tighten on the steering wheel as we approach Lucinda's estate. Remember, don't eat or drink anything she offers. I smile despite my tension. You think she'd poison me? I think she's desperate. His expression remains serious, and desperate people are dangerous. Lucinda's home sprawls across manicured grounds, every light blazing as if to emphasize her wealth. The ostentation feels deliberate, a statement about what she believes matters. I won't be long, I tell Elias as he stops at the circular drive. An hour, perhaps 2. He reaches across the seat, his hand briefly covering mine. Be careful. The warmth of his touch lingers as I walk toward the imposing front door. A butler admits me to a marble foyer where Lucinda waits, draped in silk and diamonds. Isadora, darling. She air kisses both my cheeks, her perfume overwhelming. How grown up you look, almost a proper lady. Aunt Lucinda. I keep my voice neutral. Thank you for the invitation. Family should stay connected. Her smile doesn't reach her eyes, especially during difficult times. Dinner is served in her formal dining room, a cavernous space dominated by a chandelier that could feed a family for a year. The meal progresses through calculated pleasantries and veiled barbs. The girls must miss proper supervision, she says, sipping wine. A young woman like yourself can't possibly understand their needs. They're thriving, I respond evenly. Their teachers report improvement. Even Tessa's attendance has stabilized. Her dismissal is eloquent. And that dreadful explosion? The boiler, wasn't it? So dangerous. An infrastructure issue since resolved. I meet her gaze directly. The house has undergone significant repairs. Yes, I've heard. Her tone shifts, becomes casual, too casual. Your new handyman seems quite industrious. My spine stiffens. Mr. Cruz is a skilled professional. Is he? She signals the butler, who presents a folder on a silver tray. Perhaps you should review his qualifications more thoroughly. I open the folder with steady hands that belie my racing heart. Inside lies a police report. Elias Cruz, arrested 2 years ago, suspected arson, destruction of property, endangering a minor. His wife died in that fire, Lucinda says softly, watching my reaction. How convenient for him that the insurance paid double for accidental death. The charges were dropped, I note, scanning the report. Lack of evidence, she counters, not the same as innocence. Why are you showing me this? I close the folder, fighting to keep my expression neutral. Concern for my nieces. Her false sincerity turns my stomach. A man with such a colorful past, living in your home, near vulnerable children. The court will find it most interesting. Understanding dawns cold and clear. This is your play? Discredit my judgment by questioning my staff? Among other strategies. She sips her wine. You could simplify matters. Sign over guardianship voluntarily. Keep the house, the money. Live your own life without 5 burdens weighing you down. Anger burns through my veins. They're not burdens. They're my sisters. Sentiment, she dismisses with a wave. You're not their mother, Isadora. You're barely an adult yourself. I stand, dinner unfinished. Thank you for your hospitality, Aunt, and for showing your hand so clearly. Her smile turns predatory. You always were your mother's daughter. Stubborn, emotional. It destroyed her in the end, you know. The barb lands with precision, but I refuse to let her see it. Good night, Lucinda. Oh, and Isadora, she calls as I reach the door. Do ask your Mr. Cruz about the witnesses who saw him leaving the house just before the fire started. Such an interesting detail, don't you think? The drive home passes in silence. Elias glances at me repeatedly, but I stare out the window, the folder heavy in my lap. What happened? He asks finally, as we approach Vale Mansion. She showed me a police report. My voice sounds hollow, even to my own ears. About you, about a fire. His hands clench the steering wheel so tightly his knuckles whiten. Isadora, did you do it? I turn to face him fully. Did you set that fire? No. His response is immediate, vehement. I would never. Then why does she have this? I hold up the folder. Why were there witnesses who said they saw you leaving just before it started? Pain and anger flash across his face. Because I went to buy medicine for Clara. She had a fever. Elena called me to come home because she was getting worse. His voice breaks. I was gone 15 minutes. When I returned, the house was in flames. The raw grief in his voice pierces my doubt. Why didn't you tell me? Because people still whisper when I walk down the street. His eyes remain fixed on the road. Because the investigation found faulty wiring, but rumors persisted. Because I didn't want you or your sisters to look at me the way you're looking at me now. We pull up to the mansion in silence. I should apologize for doubting him, for listening to Lucinda's insinuations even for a moment. But pride and confusion tangle my thoughts. I trust you with my sisters, I say finally. That hasn't changed. But you don't trust me with the truth. He stops the engine, turning to face me. I saw the ledger, Isadora. I know what your aunt has done, yet you questioned me based on her word alone. Shame burns my cheeks. He's right. I demanded his trust while withholding my own. I'm sorry, I whisper. He closes his eyes briefly. So am I. We sit in silence, the gulf between us widening despite our physical proximity. Finally, Elias speaks again. Whatever Lucinda's planning, it's not over. Tonight was just the opening move. His words chill me more than the autumn night. I think of my sister sleeping inside, unaware of the danger circling our family. We'll be ready, I say with more confidence than I feel. Elias nods once, his expression grim. I hope so. I wake to breaking glass. For a moment I think it's another storm, another window giving way to wind and rain. Then I hear voices, low, unfamiliar, male. My body reacts before my mind processes. Feet on floor, robe around shoulders. Door opens silently. The hallway stretches dark and empty. I move toward my sister's rooms, heart pounding against my ribs. More sounds from below. Heavy footsteps, a chair overturned. Tessa appears at her doorway, eyes wide with fear. Isadora? Get the others, I whisper. Quietly. Go to my room and lock the door. What's happening? Just do it, now. She disappears, mission accepted. I continue toward the stairs, searching for a weapon. Father's old golf club leans in the hall closet. I grab it, fingers tight around the cold metal. A figure appears at the bottom of the stairs, male, large, face obscured by shadow. Check upstairs, he calls to someone I can't see. Find the ledger. My breath stops. The ledger. Lucinda's theft. The evidence that would destroy her at the hearing. Footsteps start up the stairs, heavy boots on wood. I back away, calculating. My sisters. I need to protect my sisters. I turn, racing back toward my room. Tessa has gathered the others. Sophie clings to Violet, both in nightgowns, hair tangled from sleep. Margot and Olivia huddle by the window. Lock the door behind me, I tell Tessa. Don't open it for anyone but me or Elias. Where are you going? Her voice rises in panic. To get help. I hand her father's letter opener, small but sharp. Use this if you have to. I close the door, hear the lock engage. The intruder's footsteps echo in the hallway. I slip into Father's old room, connected to mine by a shared bathroom. The window opens onto a narrow balcony. Cold air hits my face as I climb out. The stones feel icy beneath my bare feet. I edge along the balcony toward the guest wing, toward Elias. His window stands open, curtains billowing. I slip inside, calling his name in an urgent whisper. The room is empty. Clara's adjoining door stands open as well. Both gone. Fear surges through me. Where are they? Have the intruders found them already? A crash sounds from below, followed by a shout of pain. I move back to the window, peering down. Figures struggle in the garden, Elias fighting with a man twice his size. I race back through the house, down the servants' stairs, through the kitchen. The back door stands open. I rush outside, golf club raised. Elias grapples with one intruder while another circles them. Blood runs down Elias's face from a cut above his eye. His knuckles are raw, his breathing labored. The circling man sees me first. Boss said no witnesses. He lunges. I swing the club, connecting with his shoulder. He curses, stumbling back. Elias uses the distraction to drive his fist into his opponent's stomach. The man doubles over. Elias's next blow drops him to the ground. "Isadora!" Elias shouts, seeing me. "Get back inside." The second man recovers, charging toward me. Elias intercepts him, taking the impact with his body. They crash into the garden wall. I hear the sickening crack as Elias's head connects with stone. No! I swing the club again, catching the attacker across the back. He turns, face twisted with rage. His hand closes around my throat. Air stops. Black spots dance in my vision. I claw at his fingers, desperate for breath. Then suddenly his grip releases. He crumples to the ground. Elias stands behind him, a garden stone gripped in his bloody hand. "The girls," I gasp, throat burning. "Safe." He stumbles slightly, catching himself against the wall. I got Clara out first, told her to run to Marina's cottage. Then I heard these two, breaking in. There's a third. I moved to support him, his weight heavy against my side. Upstairs, looking for the ledger. Elias straightens despite his injuries. "Stay here. Call the police." "You're hurt." I touch his face, fingers coming away red. "I'm fine." His eyes meet mine, fierce with determination. "I won't let them near your sisters." Before I can protest, he's moving back toward the house. I follow, ignoring his command to stay behind. We enter through the kitchen, moving silently through the dark rooms. A crash sounds from my study. We exchange glances, then move together toward the sound. The third intruder tears through my desk, drawers pulled out, papers scattered across the floor. The wall safe stands open, empty. "Looking for this?" I step into the doorway, voice steadier than I feel. The man spins, face contorted with anger. "Where is it?" "Gone." I straighten my spine, channeling Father's authority. "The police have copies. The court has copies. You're too late." Rage transforms his features. He lunges toward me, knife flashing in his hand. Elias moves faster, placing himself between us. The blade slashes across his chest, tearing fabric, drawing blood. He doesn't flinch. His fist connects with the intruder's jaw, sending him staggering back. "Run," he tells me, never taking his eyes off the armed man. "Get the girls. Go to Marina's." This time I obey, racing upstairs to my bedroom door. "Tessa, it's me. Open up." The lock clicks. 5 terrified faces peer out at me. We need to leave, now. We move as one down the back stairs, out the kitchen door, across the moonlit grounds to Marina's cottage. Clara rushes into her father's arms when we arrive an hour later, his wounds bandaged by paramedics. "They're gone," he tells me quietly, holding his daughter close. "Police found 2 unconscious in the garden. The 3rd escaped." "The ledger?" I ask. "Safe." He winces as he shifts position. "I moved it days ago, after our visit to your father's office." Relief washes through me, followed quickly by realization. Lucinda sent them. "Almost certainly." His expression darkens. "This goes beyond legal battles now, Isadora. She's willing to use violence." My sisters sleep in Marina's small sitting room, huddled together on cushions and blankets. Clara rests with them, her small hand clasped in Sophie's. "We need to leave," I say, decision forming. "The house isn't safe." "Where would you go?" Elias's voice holds concern but not disagreement. I think of father's properties, of vacation homes and city apartments, all too obvious, all potentially watched. "The caretaker's cottage," I say suddenly, "the old one, on the cliffs. It hasn't been used in years." Elias frowns. "Is it even habitable?" "Father kept it maintained, for emergencies." I meet his gaze steadily. This qualifies. He studies my face, then nods slowly. "I'll drive you in the morning, before dawn." I move closer, examining the bandage on his chest, the stitches above, his eye. "You should rest." "I'll rest when you're all safe." His voice softens. "You should sleep. Tomorrow will be difficult." I know he's right. My body aches with exhaustion and fading adrenaline, yet sleep seems impossible with danger so close. "Thank you," I whisper, "for protecting us, for risking yourself." His eyes find mine in the dim light. Something shifts between us, acknowledgement of what nearly happened tonight, of what we nearly lost. "I promised I would keep you safe," he says simply. "I keep my promises, Isadora." His words wrap around me like a shield. For the first time since Father's death, I allow myself to lean on someone else's strength. Just for tonight, just for this moment. He won't die on my watch. The vow escapes my lips before I can stop it. Elias's hand finds mine in the darkness. His fingers close around mine, warm and solid and alive. We stay that way until dawn breaks over the cliffs, neither speaking nor needing to. The battle has just begun. Morning fog blankets the cliffs as we approach the caretaker's cottage. The stone building emerges from the mist, sturdy and small, against the vast backdrop of sea and sky. I sit beside Elias in his truck, my sisters and Clara huddled in the back seat, faces pale with exhaustion. "It's not much," I say, suddenly self-conscious of the cottage's humble appearance. "But Father kept it maintained for the groundskeeper." "It's perfect." Elias parks near the weathered front door. "Remote, defensible. No one would think to look for you here." We unload our meager belongings, hastily packed bags, food supplies, the precious ledger. The cottage interior surprises me with its cleanliness. Simple furniture, worn but intact rugs. A stone fireplace dominates the main room. There are 2 bedrooms, I tell my sisters, and a loft space. We'll need to share. Tessa, subdued since the attack, nods without argument. She guides the younger ones toward the larger bedroom, helping them settle. The night's events have transformed her usual defiance into protective determination. "I'll check the perimeter." Elias sets down his toolbox. "Make sure everything's secure." Clara follows her father to the door, her small hand slipping into his. "Can I help?" she asks. "Of course." His voice is gentle, reassuring. "You have the best eyes." I watch them leave, father and daughter moving in synchronized steps. Their quiet bond twists something inside my chest, admiration mixed with an emotion I refuse to name. The cottage feels foreign yet oddly welcoming. I stoke the fireplace, movements mechanical, mind racing with plans and contingencies. The hearing is still days away. Lucinda knows we have evidence against her. She's proven willing to use violence. My hand shakes slightly as I arrange his kindling. I hide them in my pockets when Marina emerges from checking on my sisters. The little ones are asleep, she says. Tessa's watching over them. She stepped up. Pride warms my voice. They all have. Marina nods, her wise eyes seeing more than I want to reveal. And you? How are you holding up? I'm fine. The lie comes automatically. Just planning our next move. You need rest too, Miss Isadora. Her wrinkled hand touches my arm. You've been strong for so long. Before I can respond, the cottage door opens. Elias enters, Clara beside him, both carrying armloads of firewood. The domestic scene strikes me with unexpected force. This man who fought off attackers hours ago now preparing to warm our temporary home. Perimeter's clear, he reports. The path from the main road isn't visible unless you know where to look. Good. I try to focus on practicalities. We should establish a watch schedule. Take turns keeping guard. I'll take first watch. Elias kneels at the fireplace, arranging logs with efficient movements. You should sleep, Isadora. I'm not tired. Another lie. Exhaustion pulls at my limbs, my thoughts. His eyes find mine, seeing through the pretense. You need strength for what's coming. Marina clears her throat. I'll make tea, then check on the children again. She disappears into the small kitchen, leaving us alone in the main room. Clara has already curled up on the window seat, sketchpad open but eyes drooping with fatigue. Elias builds the fire with practiced hands. The bandage on his chest peeks from his partially unbuttoned shirt. Another across his knuckles, the stitches above his eye stark against his skin. Your injuries need cleaning. I move toward the first aid kit we brought. Sit. He raises an eyebrow but complies, settling into a worn armchair. I perch beside him, antiseptic and fresh bandages ready. This might sting, I warn, dabbing at the cut above his eye. He remains perfectly still under my touch. I've had worse. My fingers move carefully, aware of his gaze on my face. The domesticity of the moment feels dangerous, more intimate than the fear we shared during the attack. Why did you do it? I ask quietly. Put yourself between me and a knife? Between my sisters and those men? You know why. His voice is low, almost rough. Tell me anyway. His eyes find mine, dark and serious. Because you would have done the same for Clara. The simple truth of his statement renders me silent. Of course I would, without hesitation. They're just children, I say finally. And you? His question hangs between us. Who protects you, Isadora? My throat tightens unexpectedly. No one, I want to say. No one since Mother died. Since Father retreated into his illness, I've been the protector, not the protected. The fire catches fully, casting warm light across the cottage interior. Clara's steady breathing indicates she's fallen asleep on the window seat. Through the thin walls, I hear my sister's murmured conversations from the bedroom. Coffee. Elias stands, breaking the moment. I saw some in the supplies. I nod, grateful for the respite from his question. He moves to the kitchen, speaking quietly. With Marina. His shoulders, broad and solid, block the doorway. His presence fills the cottage, making the small space feel both more confined and more secure. Watching him, I admit the truth to myself, if not to him. I felt safe when he shielded me, when his body covered mine. when his hand found mine in the darkness of Marina's cottage. The realization terrifies me more than Lucinda's threats. I join him in the kitchen, needing movement, distraction. He hands me a steaming mug, his fingers brushing mine. The contact sends warmth through my hand that has nothing to do with the coffee. "Thank you," I say, meaning more than the drink. His nod acknowledges the unspoken. "We should talk strategy, the hearing, Lucinda's next move." "Tomorrow." My body betrays me with a jaw-cracking yawn. First, we need rest. "You take the second bedroom." He gestures down the short hallway. "Marina can share with the girls. I'll take the couch." "You're injured," I protest. "I'm fine." His smile appears, brief but genuine. "Go to bed, Isadora. The world will still need saving in the morning." I want to argue, but exhaustion wins. I find myself in the small bedroom, door closed, bed turned down by Marina's efficient hands. Beyond the window, waves crash against the cliffs. The sound mimics the rhythm of my heartbeat, steady, insistent, alive. For the first time since Father's death, I sleep without dreams. Morning brings pale sunlight through cotton curtains. For a moment, I forget where I am, reaching for the familiar contours of my bedroom at the mansion. Reality returns in pieces. The cottage, the attack, our escape. I dress quickly, finger combing my hair. The main room stands empty, the fire rekindled. The scent of coffee pulls me toward the kitchen. Elias stands at the stove, spatula in hand. Clara sits at the small table, Sophie beside her. They draw together on a shared piece of paper, heads bent in matching concentration. "Good morning," I say, voice rough from sleep. Elias turns, a smile touching his lips. "Perfect timing. Breakfast is ready." "Pancakes," Clara announces. "The funny kind." He flips a pancake onto a plate, shaped like a lopsided heart. Sophie giggles, delighted by the simple magic. "Where are the others?" I accept the coffee he offers. Marina took them beach combing. Elias adds another pancake to the growing stack. They needed fresh air, movement. I watch him work, movement sufficient despite his injuries. In another life, this could be normal. Breakfast with children, morning light through curtains, coffee handed with casual intimacy. "You're staring," he says, not looking up from the stove. Heat rushes to my cheeks. "Sorry, just processing." "Eat." He places a plate before me. "You'll think better with food." The pancakes taste of childhood and comfort. I felt happy despite everything, sitting at the small table with Elias across from me and the girls chattering beside us. "Can we paint the sea today?" Sophie asks Clara. "From the big rock?" "Ask your sister," Clara replies, glancing at me for permission. I hesitate, safety concerns warring with their eager faces. "You can paint from the cottage window. The view is just as good." Sophie's face falls slightly, but she nods. Clara pats her hand with surprising maturity. We can imagine the parts we can't see. Their resilience humbles me. Children adapting to danger, to displacement, to the adults' fears without losing their essential natures. "Thank you for this," I tell Elias when the girls leave the table to retrieve their art supplies. "For making things feel normal," he suggests when I trail off. "Safe," I correct, "for all of us." His eyes find mine across the table. My chest tightens at the intensity I find there. Not just determination or duty, but something deeper, more personal. "We'll get through this," he says, "together." The simple word, together, lodges in my throat, in my chest. Together implies connection, permanence, things I've avoided since taking guardianship of my sisters, since learning that attachment means eventual loss. Yet sitting across from Elias Cruz in a sunlit kitchen, The word doesn't frighten me as much as it should. I felt hope, fragile but real, blooming beneath my ribs. Sleep eludes me. The narrow bed in the small bedroom feels confining after hours of tossing and turning. Moonlight streams through thin curtains, painting silver patterns across the wooden floor. I rise, wrapping a borrowed sweater around my nightgown. The cottage sleeps around me. Marina and my sisters in the larger bedroom, Clara in the loft space above. Elias insisted on keeping watch from the main room, despite my protests. The floorboards creak slightly under my feet as I move down the short hallway. The main room stands empty, the fire burned to embers. A blanket lies folded on the couch, Elias's makeshift bed abandoned. The front door stands slightly ajar. I push it open, stepping onto the small porch. The night air holds the salt tang of the ocean. Stars blanket the sky, countless and brilliant above the dark expanse of sea. Elias sits on the porch steps, face tilted toward the horizon. The moon illuminates his profile, strong jaw, straight nose, the shadow of stubble along his cheek. He doesn't turn, though he must hear me approach. "Couldn't sleep?" I ask, settling beside him on the step. "Someone needed to keep watch." His voice is quiet, matched to the night. "We're taking turns, remember?" I pull the sweater tighter. "You need rest too." He doesn't respond immediately. His gaze remains fixed on the distant meeting of sea and sky. 2 years ago tonight, he says finally. That's when the fire happened. My breath catches at the unexpected confession. The anniversary of his wife's death, the tragedy that haunts him still. "I'm sorry," I offer, the words inadequate but sincere. "Clara had a fever." His voice takes on a detached quality, as if reciting events that happened to someone else. "Elena called me to come home. I'd gone to get medicine from the pharmacy." I remained silent, afraid any response might stop his words. By the time I returned, the house was engulfed. I tried to get inside. A neighbor held me back. His hand rises unconsciously to the scar above his eyebrow. "When they found Elena, she was in Clara's room. She'd gotten our daughter out through the window, then went back in for something." "What?" I whisper when he falls silent. "A photograph album." His laugh holds no humor. "Family pictures, Clara's baby photos. She died for memories." My hand moves of its own accord to cover his on the rough wood of the step. His fingers turn, clasping mine with surprising strength. "The fire marshal ruled it electrical." His voice grows bitter, but rumors spread. Insurance money, my absence just before it started. Small towns and suspicious minds. "But you were cleared," I say, remembering the police report. "Officially, not in people's eyes." He turns to face me finally. Clara stopped speaking for months afterward. "When we came here, it was a fresh start. No one knew our history. Understanding dawns. Until Lucinda dug it up." He nods, expression grim in the moonlight. "She'll use it at the hearing. Paint me as dangerous. Question your judgment in hiring me." "I don't care what she says," I reply fiercely. "I know the truth." "Do you?" His eyes search my face. "You doubted me when she first showed you the report. The accusation stings because it holds truth. I was wrong. I'm sorry for that." His grip on my hand tightens briefly, then releases. "Your turn." "My turn?" I echo, confused. I've shared my darkest moment. His gaze holds mine. "Now you share yours." The request catches me off guard. I've spent years building walls around my pain, my fears, yet his honesty demands equal vulnerability. "My mother killed herself when I was 16. The words emerge as barely more than a whisper. "Pills. I found her." His sharp intake of breath is the only sound in the night. I continue, unable to stop now that I've begun. She left a note, said she couldn't bear Father's control anymore, his rules, his constant disappointment. My voice remained steady through sheer will. He blamed me afterward, said I should have seen the signs, should have told him. That's not fair, Elias says quietly. You were a child. I was old enough to know she was unhappy, to see how he diminished her. The admission feels like betrayal even now. After she died, I promised myself I'd never be controlled like she was. Never lose myself to someone else's demands. Is that why you fight so hard for independence? His question cuts to the heart of me. Why you resist help? My throat tightens. Control is survival. If I rely on others, I risk everything. My sisters, our home, our future. There's a difference between control and trust, he says gently, between independence and isolation. The distinction pierces my carefully constructed defenses. Tears I've held back for years press against my eyelids. I'm scared all the time, I confess, voice cracking, scared of failing them, of making the wrong choice, of becoming my father or ending like my mother. His arm circles my shoulders, drawing me against his side. The gesture breaks something in me. Tears fall, silent but unstoppable. You're nothing like either of them, he murmurs. His voice was gentle in the darkness. You fight for your family. You sacrifice for them. But you see them, Isadora. You let them be themselves. I lean into his strength, allowing myself this moment of weakness. His heartbeat sounds steady beneath my ear. His hand strokes my hair with unexpected tenderness. What if I can't protect them? I whisper my deepest fear. What if Lucinda wins? She won't. His certainty steadies me. We have the evidence, the ledger, the truth. The truth doesn't always win. Then we fight harder. His fingers tilt my chin up, forcing me to meet his gaze. Together. That word again. Together. The promise of it warms me from within. Dawn breaks slowly over the horizon, painting the sky in delicate pinks and golds. We remain side by side on the porch steps, watching darkness retreat. We should go inside, I say eventually, before the others wake. Neither of us moves. The moment feels too precious, too fragile to break. Isadora. My name on his lips sounds different now, tender, intimate. Whatever happens with Lucinda, with the hearing, you've done right by your sisters. You've given everything for them. I felt tears threatening again. Not everything, I whisper. I've kept parts of myself locked away, too afraid to be vulnerable, to need anyone. His eyes find mine in the growing light. Maybe it's time to unlock those parts. My breath catches at what I see in his expression. Understanding, acceptance, and something deeper I'm not ready to name. I don't know how, I admit. His smile appears, soft and genuine. Yes, you do. You're doing it right now. The truth of his words settles over me. This sharing of pain, of fears. It's the most vulnerable I've been since Mother died, since I built my wall stone by stone. Thank you, I say simply, for listening, for understanding. Thank you for trusting me with your truth. His voice was rough with emotion. It matters, Isadora, more than you know. The sun crests the horizon fully now, bathing the cottage in golden light. A new day. Perhaps a new beginning. I felt peace wash through me for the first time in years. 3 days pass in the sanctuary of the cottage. We establish routines, find rhythms. Marina teaches my sisters to bake bread in the small oven. Elias repairs loose floorboards and dripping faucets. I prepare for the hearing, organizing evidence, rehearsing testimony. The world narrows to these walls, these people. The constant fear recedes. replaced by a tentative normalcy, until the note appears. Tessa finds it first, slipped under the cottage door while we prepare lunch. Her voice, sharp with alarm, brings me running from the kitchen. Isadora. She holds the paper with trembling fingers. Someone was here. I take the note, dread pooling in my stomach as I read the typed message. They know where you are. 5 words. No signature needed. Lucinda's threat could not be clearer. Elias appears at my side, reading over my shoulder. His body tenses, alert and ready. Get the girls away from the windows, he orders Marina, voice low but urgent. Pack only essentials. We need to move. Panic rises, hot and choking. Where? If she found us here? We'll figure that out. He grips my shoulders, steadying me. Focus, Isadora. Your sisters need you calm right now. His certainty anchors me. I nod, pushing fear aside. Tessa, help the younger ones pack. 1 bag each. Marina, food and first aid supplies. They move quickly, responding to my commander's voice. Only Clara remains in the main room, eyes wide with remembered terror. It's happening again, she whispers. Bad men coming. Elias kneels before his daughter, hands gentle on her small shoulders. Nothing bad will happen to you. I promise. Or to Sophie? Or Miss Isadora? Her voice trembles slightly. I'll protect all of you. He brushes her hair back from her forehead. Now go help Sophie pack, okay? Your brave face helps her. Clara nods, straightening her spine with visible effort before disappearing into the bedroom. My heart aches watching her, a child carrying adult burdens, learning fear too young. How did they find us? I ask when we're alone. Elias moves to the windows, checking locks, scanning the surrounding cliffs. Someone must have followed us from the mansion or recognized my truck in town when I went for supplies. The hearing is tomorrow. I follow him, mind racing. If we don't appear, Lucinda wins by default. His jaw tightens. That's her plan. Keep us running, keep us hiding, prevent us from testifying. Determination replaces fear. Then we don't run. We face her directly. His eyes find mine, questioning. Call the police. I straighten my spine, channeling father's authority. Report the break-in, the note. Request protection for the hearing. Make this official. She has connections in the department, he reminds me, but not all of them. I move to the fireplace, retrieving the ledger hidden behind a loose stone. We make copies, send them to the district attorney, the state police, the financial crimes unit. Create too many witnesses for her to silence. Something shifts in his expression. Approval, perhaps even admiration. That might work. It will work. I grip the ledger tightly. I'm done being scared, Elias. Done hiding. My sisters deserve better than a guardian who cowers in corners. He steps closer, one hand rising to cup my cheek. The gesture feels natural now, as if we've crossed some invisible boundary in the days since our dawn confessions. You've never cowered, he says softly. Not once, since I've known you. My skin warms beneath his touch. My breath catches at his proximity. For a moment, the danger recedes, replaced by awareness of him, his height, his strength, the surprising gentleness of his calloused hand against my face. Isadora, Elias, Tessa's shout breaks the moment. Someone's coming up the path. We move as one to the window. A dark car winds up the narrow road toward the cottage, dust billowing behind its wheels. My body tenses for flight. Then recognition dawns. It's Mr. Patterson. Relief weakens my knees. Father's lawyer. Elias remains vigilant. Are you sure? Yes. I squint through the glass. That's his car. He must have been looking for us after the break-in at the mansion. Patterson parks in front of the cottage, his thin frame emerging from the vehicle. Always formal, he wears a suit despite the remote location. His briefcase suggests business rather than danger. "Stay inside with the girls," Elias says. "I'll meet him." I nod, trusting his caution. Through the window, I watch their exchange. Elias blocking the path to the door, stance protective, questions clearly direct. Patterson's responses appear frustrated but unthreatening. Finally, Elias turns toward the cottage, beckoning me out. "He has news," he says when I join them on the porch. "About Lucinda." Patterson adjusts his glasses nervously. "Miss Vale, I've been searching for you since hearing about the break-in. The police called me as your father's legal representative." "What's happened?" I ask, dread returning. "Your aunt has filed additional motions with the court." He opens his briefcase, extracting legal documents. "She's requesting an emergency transfer of guardianship based on your alleged abandonment of the children." Anger flares hot and bright. "Abandonment? We fled because her men attacked us." I understand. Patterson's voice holds genuine sympathy. "But Judge Harris has agreed to hear her petition today. If you don't appear to contest it—" "She wins," I finish, the trap suddenly clear. The note, the threat. She wanted us to run again, to miss the emergency hearing. "What time?" Elias asks, practical as always. 4 o'clock, Patterson checks his watch. Just over 3 hours from now. My mind races through options, calculations. We'll need police escort, the evidence. "I've arranged protection," Patterson interrupts. "Officers I trust personally. They're waiting at the main road." Relief mingles with renewed determination. "Then we go now. Face her directly." "The children should stay here," Elias says. "With Marina, safer." I shake my head firmly. "No, we stay together, all of us. I won't leave them vulnerable to another attack." His expression shows reluctant agreement. "Then we all go. Together." The word no longer frightens me. Together we've survived the attack, the flight, the fear. Together we'll face what comes next. "Give us 15 minutes, I tell Patterson. "We'll follow you to the courthouse." He nods, returning to his car. I turn to find my sisters gathered in the doorway, faces solemn but determined. Even Sophie stands tall, small hand clasped in Clara's. "We're going to fight the bad lady?" she asks, voice steadier than I expect. I kneel before her, meeting her eyes directly. "Yes, and we're going to win." She nods, accepting this with a child's faith. "Mr. Cruz will help us. He stops bad people." My eyes rise to find Elias watching us, something fierce and protective in his gaze, the same expression he wears when looking at Clara. My chest tightens at the realization. "Yes," I agree softly, "he does." We pack quickly, efficiently. The ledger secures inside my bag, pressed against my side. Marina supervises the children while Elias and I sweep the cottage for anything left behind. We meet in the main room, final checks complete. His eyes find mine across the space between us. "Ready?" he asks. I nod, straightening my shoulders. "Ready." He steps closer, voice dropping so only I can hear. "Whatever happens in that courtroom, remember what you told me at dawn, about control and fear." I remember. My voice strengthens with each word. I'm not afraid anymore. His smile appears, brief but genuine. That's what scares Lucinda most. The truth of his statement settles over me. My aunt feared father because he controlled the money, the legacy. She fears me for a different reason, because I fight for something beyond wealth, for family, for love. My throat tightens at the realization. For all her schemes and power, Lucinda has no one who would shield her from danger. No child whose hand she'd hold through fear. No family willing to follow her into battle. "Let's go," I say, turning toward the door. "Our future is waiting." My sisters gather around me. Marina stands ready. Elias moves to my side, solid and certain. For the first time since Father's death, I feel not just responsible, but supported. Not just in control, but connected. I felt stronger than I ever had before. The courthouse looms ahead, its stone facade imposing against the afternoon sky. Police escort surrounds our small convoy, Patterson's car leading, Elias's truck following with all of us crowded inside. My sisters press against me in the back seat, quiet with anticipation. "We'll go straight to Judge Pearson's chambers," Patterson instructs as we park. He's agreed to hear our evidence before the formal hearing. "Judge Pearson?" I frown, confusion momentary. I thought Judge Harris was presiding. "Harris recused himself this morning." Patterson's thin face shows satisfaction. "After I filed complaints about his connection to your aunt, Pearson is fair, unbiased." Hope flickers brighter. Without Harris's prejudice, with the ledger's evidence, with police now involved, perhaps justice might prevail. "Stay close," Elias tells Clara as we exit the vehicles. "Hold Miss Sophie's hand." The girls comply, forming a tight group. Marina shepherds them toward the courthouse steps, while officers scan the surroundings. Elias remains at my side, body tense with vigilance. "I need to use the restroom," Sophie announces suddenly, her small face pinched with urgency. "Now?" Tessa sighs with teenage exasperation. "We're almost inside." "I really need to go," Sophie insists, dancing slightly in place. Marina steps forward. "I'll take her. There's a public restroom in the park across the street." "We should stay together," I protest, unease prickling my skin. "The hearing starts in 20 minutes, Patterson reminds me. Judge Pearson needs to review the evidence first." Indecision tears at me. Sophie's need is genuine, but separating feels dangerous. "I'll take them," Clara offers unexpectedly. "I need to go too." Elias hesitates, clearly sharing my concern. "Marina, you'll watch them both? Not let them out of your sight?" "Of course." The elderly woman nods firmly. 5 minutes, no more. "Go directly there and back," I instruct, kneeling to Sophie's level. "Listen to Marina. No wandering." "I promise." Sophie's face turns serious with the responsibility. Clara nods beside her, equally solemn. 2 small soldiers accepting a mission. 5 minutes, Elias repeats, squeezing his daughter's shoulder gently. We watch them cross the street. Marina's gray head, Sophie's blonde curls, Clara's dark braids. They disappear into the small park, heading toward the public building that houses restrooms. "Let's get inside," Patterson urges. "We need to prepare." The courthouse interior feels cool after the afternoon sun. Marble floors echo with our footsteps as Patterson leads us toward chambers. The officer assigned to us follows discreetly. Minutes pass as we wait in an antechamber. Patterson reviews documents. My sisters sit in tense silence. Elias paces the length of the room, checking his watch repeatedly. "They should be back by now," he says finally, worry evident in his voice. The same thought has been circling my mind. "I'll check on them." "I'll go." Elias moves toward the door. "You need to stay for the judge. We'll both go." I stand, gut instinct overriding protocol. "Tessa, stay with the others. Officer Jenkins will remain with you." The young officer nods, hand resting on his holstered weapon. Patterson looks up from his papers, frowning. "Miss Vale, the judge, will wait 5 minutes." My tone brooks no argument. My sister comes first. Elias and I hurry through the courthouse, out into the bright afternoon. The park across the street appears peaceful. Children on swings, elderly couples on benches, normal life proceeding without awareness of our crisis. We locate the restroom building easily. Elias waits outside while I enter the women's section. Marina? My voice echoes against tile walls. Sophie? Silence answers. The stalls stand empty, doors ajar. No sign of Marina, Sophie, or Clara. Fear clutches my throat as I exit to where Elias waits. His expression darkens at my empty-handed return. They're not inside, I say, panic. Rising. Any of them. We split up, searching the small park with increasing urgency. I question a woman near the fountain. Elias speaks to the park attendant. No one has seen an elderly woman with 2 young girls. My phone rings. Tessa's name on the screen. They're back? I answer hopefully. No. Her voice sounds tight with fear. Someone just delivered an envelope for you. There's a note inside and a photograph. Ice floods my veins. Read it to me. It says, "Evidence or children, your choice. Come alone to the old pier 1 hour." Tessa's voice shakes slightly. Isadora, the picture shows Sophie and Clara. They look scared. My legs nearly buckle. Elias catches my arm, steadying me as he leans close to hear the call. "Marina?" I manage to ask. No sign of her. Tessa's worry transmits clearly. Should I tell the police? No. The response comes from Elias, sharp and certain. If they involve departments, bring in kidnapping protocols. The girls could be hurt, I finish, understanding his fear. Tell Officer Jenkins we've found them, that they went to a shop for candy. We're bringing them back now. But trust me, Tessa. My voice steadies with forced calm. Stay with the others. We'll handle this. I end the call, meeting Elias's gaze. The rage in his eyes mirrors the terror in my heart. The old pier, he says. Industrial area. Abandoned warehouses, perfect for an ambush. She's taken our children, I whisper, the words burning my throat, to force me to destroy the evidence. Our children. He doesn't correct my phrasing. His hand finds mine, gripping with desperate strength. We'll get them back. The ledger's in my bag, at the courthouse. My mind races through scenarios, calculations. If I give it to her, she'll still have Sophie and Clara. His voice hardens. People who kidnap children don't keep their word, Isadora. The truth of his statement hits with physical force. Lucinda has crossed a line from which there's no return. This is no longer about inheritance or guardianship. This is about 2 innocent children held hostage. We need a plan. My training takes over, Father's strategic lessons surfacing in crisis. The pier has 2 access points, multiple abandoned buildings. If I approach openly while you circle behind, too dangerous. His rejection is immediate. I'm not letting you face her alone. She expects me alone. I grip his arms, forcing him to focus. Our advantage is surprise. She doesn't know you're with me. Doesn't know we've discovered the kidnapping so quickly. Understanding dawns in his expression. A distraction. You keep her talking while I locate the girls. Exactly. My voice steadies with purpose. I'll bring a fake ledger. Pages that look convincing but contain nothing damaging. Buy you time to find them. His eyes search mine, conflict evident in his features. If anything happens to you, it won't. I cut him off, unable to bear his fear. But even if it did, the girls matter more. Clara matters more. Something shifts in his expression, pain mixed with a deeper emotion I cannot name. His hands rise to frame my face, thumbs brushing my cheeks with unexpected tenderness. You matter too, he says fiercely. To your sisters. To Clara. His voice drops lower. To me. My breath catches at the raw honesty in his words. For a moment, the world narrows to his face, his touch, the intensity between us. Elias, I begin, uncertain what truth might follow. Later, he interrupts gently. When they're safe. When we're all safe. Reality crashes back. The kidnapping, the threat, the ticking clock. I nod, stepping back from his touch, though my skin seems to burn where his fingers rested. 1 hour, I say. We need to move now. His expression hardens into determination. Let's get our girls back. The plural possessive, our girls, registers even as we hurry toward his truck. Something has shifted between us, boundaries blurring, separate concerns becoming shared mission. I felt fear, yes, but also fierce resolve. They took the wrong children from the wrong people. Lucinda Vale would soon discover exactly what that meant. The old pier stretches into the gray harbor, rotting wood and rusted metal stark against the water. Abandoned warehouses line the waterfront, windows broken, walls covered with graffiti. No legitimate businesses operate here anymore, just shadows and secrets, and now our children held captive. I check my watch. 50 minutes since the note arrived. 10 minutes to prepare. The main warehouse. Elias points to the largest building at the pier's base. Multiple exits, covered vantage points. That's where I'd hold hostages. His tactical assessment chills me with its precision. The reminder that he thinks like this, calculating angles, assessing threats, makes me grateful he fights for us, not against us. I'll approach from the road. I hold the fake ledger, manila folder filled with meaningless financial documents. Keep Lucinda and her men focused on me. You circle from the water side. Take this. He presses something cold and metal into my palm, a small canister. Pepper spray. Marina kept it in her purse. We found it on the ground in the park. The abandoned accessory confirms our fears. Marina didn't leave willingly with the girls. Do you think she's hurt? I ask, throat tight with worry for our loyal housekeeper. I don't know. His honesty doesn't soften the blow. But she would have fought for the children. Remember that. I nod, tucking the spray into my pocket. 20 minutes. If you haven't found them by then, I will. His certainty brooks no argument. Trust me, I do. The admission comes easily now, natural as breathing. Be careful. His eyes find mine one last time, something unspoken passing between us. Then he moves away, disappearing among the broken buildings, heading toward the water access. I straighten my spine, grip the folder, and walk openly toward the warehouse. The fall sun offers light without warmth. Wind whips off the harbor, carrying the scent of decay and neglect. No guards stop me. No voices call out warnings, either supreme confidence or amateur planning. I pray for the latter. The warehouse door stands partially open. I pause, listening. Silence except for the creak of metal in the wind. I step inside, eyes adjusting to dimmer light. Aunt Lucinda, Fana, I call, voice echoing in the cavernous space. I've brought what you asked for. Movement from the shadows. A figure emerges, tall, elegant even here among dust and debris. Lucinda, dressed as if for a business meeting, her smile cold and satisfied. Isadora. She gestures to a man beside her, one of the intruders from the mansion attack. How prompt. Your father would be proud of your punctuality, if nothing else. Where are the children? I demand, keeping my distance. Safe. She extends her hand. The ledger first. No. I hold the folder against my chest. I see the girls first, and Marina. Something flickers across her face. Annoyance, perhaps surprise at my defiance. You're not in a position to negotiate. Neither are you. I straighten to my full height. Kidnapping carries a minimum 20-year sentence. The evidence in this ledger would send you away for 5, maybe 10. Simple math, Aunt. Her laugh holds no humor. Always the clever one. Very well. She signals to her henchman. He disappears behind a stack of crates, returning moments later pushing Marina in a wheelchair. The elderly woman's face shows bruising, one arm bandaged, but her eyes flash with anger, not defeat. "Miss Isadora," she calls, voice stronger than her appearance suggests. "Don't give her anything." "Silence her," Lucinda orders. The man places his hand roughly over Marina's mouth. My fingers itch to use the pepper spray, to blind them both and free Marina immediately. But the children remain unseen. "Sophie and Clara," I insist. "Where are they?" "Nearby." Lucinda's smile turns predatory. "You'll see them after I see the contents of that folder." Time. I need to create time for Elias to search, to find the girls while Lucinda focuses on me. "You've wanted this from the beginning," I say, taking a step closer. "Father's money, the estate, control." "Control." She laughs again. "Rich, coming from you, your father's perfect protege, ruling your sisters' lives with the same iron fist he used on your mother." The barb strikes home, but I refuse to show pain. Is that what this is about? Revenge for how he treated you? This is about what's rightfully mine. Her composure slips, revealing the rage beneath. I built that company alongside him, made the connections, smoothed the political pathways, sacrificed my reputation. Then he writes me out of his will for 5 little girls who can't even manage the fortune. Each word buys seconds. Each exchange creates opportunity for Elias to move unseen through the warehouse's shadows. So, you stole from him, say, year after year. I took what he owed me. Her eyes narrow. "Open the folder, Isadora, now, or the little girls will suffer for your stubbornness." I move closer, pretending compliance. My gaze scans the warehouse, seeking movement, signs, anything to indicate where they might hold the children. A flash of color catches my eye. Pink, the color of Sophie's jacket. Upper level, behind broken windows of what once was an office overlooking the warehouse floor. A small face appears briefly, then vanishes. My heartbeat accelerates. Found them. Now I need to signal Elias somehow. "Before I show you," I stall. "Tell me one thing. The men who attacked the mansion, did you order them to hurt us, or just find the ledger?" Lucinda's impatience shows in her tapping foot, her tightened jaw. Business, not personal. Though accidents happen. Like Mother's suicide? The question bursts from me, unexpected even to myself. "Was that an accident too?" Shock flashes across her face. "What are you implying?" "Father always said you were there that day, found her before anyone else." Suspicion crystallizes into certainty. "What did you do, Lucinda? What did you say to her?" "Enough!" She steps forward, hand outstretched. "The ledger. Now, or my associate makes a call, and those precious children have a tragic accident of their own." I hold the folder out, just beyond her reach. When she steps closer, I drop it deliberately. Papers scatter across the dirty floor. "Clumsy girl," she snarls, bending to gather them. The distraction is brief but sufficient. I pull the pepper spray from my pocket, aiming at her henchman first. He screams, hands covering his eyes, his grip on Marina released. Lucinda straightens, rage transforming her features. "You stupid!" A crash interrupts her curse. Glass shatters from the upper office. Elias kicks through the window, children gathered behind him. "Isadora!" he shouts. "Get down!" I drop to the floor as Lucinda lunges for me. Her fingers catch my hair, yanking painfully. I twist away, driving my elbow into her stomach. She gasps, grip loosening. The henchman recovers enough to stagger forward, still half blind. I spray again, directly in his face. His howl echoes through the warehouse as he falls to his knees. Lucinda backs away, reaching into her jacket. Metal glints in her hand. A small pistol, barrel pointing at my chest. "Stupid, emotional girl," she hisses, "just like your mother." Time slows. I see Elias descending a metal staircase, children behind him. See Marina wheeling herself toward a side exit. See Lucinda's finger tightening on the trigger. A blur of movement. Elias launches himself from the stairs, crossing the space between us with impossible speed. His body slams into mine, carrying us both to the ground as the gun fires. Pain explodes across my shoulder, sharp, burning, immediate. I hear Sophie scream, Clara calling for her father, Lucinda's heels clicking on concrete as she runs for the exit. "Elias!" Gasp, feeling warmth spreading across my blouse. "Blood! My blood!" "Don't move!" His voice sounds far away despite his body covering mine. "You're hit." "The girls," I manage, fighting to stay conscious. "Get the girls." "They're coming. Stay with me, Isadora." His hands press against my shoulder, stemming the flow. "Eyes open. Look at me." I force my gaze to his face. His features blur, then sharpen. The scar above his eye, the intensity of his gaze, fear, and something deeper in his expression. "The bullet grazed you," he says. "Not deep. Stay awake." Sirens wail in the distance. Someone must have heard the gunshot. Called police. Help coming. "Lucinda?" I ask through gritted teeth. "Running. She won't get far." His eyes never leave mine. "Just stay with me." Small figures appear beside us. Sophie's tear-streaked face, Clara's solemn eyes, both alive, both safe. "You're hurt," Sophie whispers, reaching for my hand. "Just a scratch." I force a smile through pain. "Are you okay? Did they hurt you?" She shakes her head. "They put us in a room with a lock. Mr. Cruz found us. He broke the window." Clara kneels beside her father, her small hand touching his shoulder. "Daddy saved us, like he promised." The simple faith in her voice breaks something in me. Tears mix with pain, with relief, with emotions too complex to name. "He did," I agree, squeezing her hand. "He always keeps his promises." Police burst through the warehouse doors, weapons drawn. Paramedics follow. The world becomes noise and motion and questions. Through it all, Elias remains beside me, his hand holding mine, his voice steady in my ear. "Stay with me," he repeats, a mantra, a prayer. "We're all going home together." I focus on his words, on his touch, as darkness edges my vision, on the promise of home, on the gift of together. My last conscious thought before the ambulance doors close: he won't die on my watch, neither will I. The hospital room glows with antiseptic brightness. Monitors beep steadily beside my bed, tracking heartbeats and blood pressure. My shoulder throbs beneath clean bandages, a constant reminder of Lucinda's bullet. "You were lucky," the doctor told me hours earlier. "The bullet grazed rather than penetrated. No major damage." Lucky feels like the wrong word. Alive seems more accurate. Protected. Saved. My sisters crowd the small room now. Tessa hovers closest, appointed guardian while I recover. Violet and Margot arrange flowers sent by father's business associates. Olivia reads medical pamphlets about gunshot wounds with scientific curiosity. Sophie sits on the bed beside me, small hand resting protectively on my arm. "When can you come home?" she asks, eyes serious above her pink mask. "Hospital rules for young visitors." "Tomorrow, if all goes well," I tell her, managing a smile despite the pain. "The doctor just wants to monitor me overnight." "We cleaned your room," Violet announces proudly, "and Marina made soup." The mention of our housekeeper brings relief. Marina suffered bruised ribs and a sprained wrist during the kidnapping but refused hospitalization. "Stronger than I look, sir," she informed the paramedics before demanding to return to our sisters. "Where's Mr. Cruz?" Sophie asks, looking toward the door expectantly. "Is he getting more ice chips?" My heart skips, causing a blip on the monitor beside me. The question I've been avoiding surfaces through a child's innocent curiosity. "Elias is—" I hesitate, seeking the right words. "In surgery," Tessa finishes, her voice gentler than usual. "Remember? We talked about this in the waiting room." Sophie's face falls. I forgot. The truth constricts my chest more painfully than my wound. Elias collapsed in the ambulance beside me, blood seeping through his shirt. Not from the gunshot meant for me, but from earlier injuries reopened during the rescue. The knife wound across his chest, the blow to his head, his body pushed beyond endurance to save our children. "The doctors are fixing him up," I reassure Sophie. Reassure myself. "He'll be fine." The confidence in my voice masks the fear that hasn't left since watching him wheeled away on a gurney, since his hand slipped from mine, his eyes closing despite my pleas to stay awake. A soft knock interrupts my thoughts. Patterson stands in the doorway, looking uncomfortable in the hospital setting. "Miss Vale," he says, nodding formally. "A moment of your time?" "About legal matters." Tessa straightens, protective. "She's recovering." "It's important," he insists. "About your aunt." My attention sharpens. "It's all right, Tessa. Take the girls to the cafeteria for ice cream. 15 minutes. She hesitates, then nods. "Come on, monsters. Let's raid the vending machines, too." They file out with minimal protest, Sophie blowing a kiss from the doorway. When we're alone, Patterson approaches my bed, legal pad in hand. "Lucinda was apprehended an hour ago," he begins without preamble, "trying to board a private flight to the Cayman Islands." Relief loosens the knot in my stomach. "The ledger?" "Safe. The original remains in evidence, but I've made certified copies for the court." He clears his throat. "The hearing has been postponed until your recovery, but Judge Pearson has issued a temporary order confirming your guardianship." "And the criminal charges?" "Extensive. Embezzlement, kidnapping, assault, attempted murder." His thin face shows satisfaction. "She won't see freedom for decades, Miss Vale." The victory feels hollow with Elias still in surgery, with my shoulder throbbing, with the memory of Sophie's fear and Clara's solemn eyes. "The children," I say, focusing on what matters. "Clara Cruz, is she all right?" "With her grandmother. Mr. Cruz's mother-in-law arrived from Portland this afternoon." Patterson shifts uncomfortably. "There may be complications regarding custody." My chest tightens with new fear. What complications? Given Mr. Cruz's injuries, his employment uncertainty, and this traumatic event. He hesitates. His mother-in-law has expressed intention to file for emergency custody. No. The word emerges with surprising force. Clara belongs with her father. She needs stability, not more disruption. Patterson's expression remains neutral. The courts consider many factors in such cases, then consider this. I push myself more upright, ignoring the pain that flares through my shoulder. Elias Cruz is employed permanently as Vale estate manager. Full benefits, housing included. He and Clara will have the caretaker's cottage, renovated to their needs. Surprise crosses his professional mask. "Miss Vale, such arrangements require consideration." "I've considered." My voice leaves no room for argument. "Drop the contracts immediately. Backdate the employment agreement to his initial hiring. Make it clear his position is essential and permanent. Your father would advise caution, he begins. My father is dead. The bluntness startles us both. I'm making my own decisions now, for my family, for all of us. Something shifts in Patterson's expression, surprise giving way to something like respect. He nods once, making notes on his pad. I'll have the paperwork tomorrow, he says, and I'll speak with family court about the custody matter. Thank you. The fight leaves me suddenly, exhaustion taking its place. Please send my sisters back in. After he leaves, I sink against the pillows, mind racing despite fatigue. Elias's custody of Clara threatened. The possibility of them being separated after everything they've survived. The thought is unbearable. My eyes drift to the window. Evening descends over the city, lights blinking on across the harbor. Somewhere in this same hospital, surgeons work to repair the man who saved us all. The man whose quiet strength changed everything. A nurse enters, checking monitors, adjusting medication. You should rest, she advises, noting my elevated heart rate. Your family can visit tomorrow. There's someone in surgery, I say instead of arguing. Elias Cruz. Could you check his status for me? Her expression softens. The man who came in with you? Still in surgery, but stable last I heard. I'll update you when there's news. Alone again, I close my eyes, not to sleep, but to organize my thoughts, my priorities, my plans. Father raised me to approach problems systematically, to assess, analyze, determine optimal solutions. I apply those lessons now, but with different criteria than he would approve. Not profit margins or investment returns, not social connections or family reputation, safety, happiness, love. The clarity surprises me with its simplicity. All my life, I've fought for control because it seemed the only path to security. Now I understand there's a stronger foundation, one built on trust rather than fear, on connection rather than isolation. My sisters return, subdued by the hospital atmosphere, but carrying contraband candy bars and soda. Tessa distributes the spoils with careful attention to preferences. Even in this, she shows growing maturity. Any news? She asks quietly, taking the chair beside my bed. I shake my head. Still in surgery. His mother-in-law has Clara. Not permanently, Tessa says with surprising fierceness. They belong with us now. The simple assertion warms something in my chest. Us. Not me, not them. Us. Yes, I agree. They do. Hours pass. My sisters doze in uncomfortable chairs despite nurses urging them home. I remain awake, watching the door, waiting for news. My shoulder throbs in time with my heartbeat. The pain medication makes my thoughts fuzzy, disconnected. Near midnight, a new doctor appears, surgical cap still on, fatigue evident in the lines around his eyes. Ms. Vale? He consults the chart at the foot of my bed. You've been asking about Elias Cruz. I sit up too quickly, wincing at the pain. Yes. How is he? Stable. Out of surgery. His professional detachment doesn't entirely mask kindness. The internal bleeding is controlled. He's in recovery now. When can I see him? The question escapes before I consider its impropriety. What right do I have to demand access? I'm not family, not formally connected. The doctor's eyebrow rises slightly. Are you related to the patient? I hesitate, searching for a term that encompasses what Elias has become to me. Colleague seems insufficient. Friend, too casual. The truth too complicated. We're family, Tessa says firmly, now awake and standing beside me. All of us. The doctor looks between us, then nods. He'll be in recovery for several hours. Tomorrow would be better for visits. I need to see him tonight. The monitors beside me betray my agitation with faster beeps. Please, he saved my life, saved my sister and his daughter. Something in my voice must convey the urgency I feel. The doctor sighs, relenting. 10 minutes, no more. He checks his watch. I'll send a nurse with a wheelchair in 30 minutes. After he leaves, Tessa turns to me, eyes knowing beyond her 17 years. You love him, she says. Not a question. My breath caught in my throat, the directness of youth, the clarity I've been avoiding. It's complicated, I manage. Her laugh holds no humor. Only because you make it that way. There are considerations, his position, the estate, what people will say. Each objection sounds weaker than the last. Who cares what people say? Tessa's question echoes my own hidden thoughts. He makes you happy. He's good to us. The rest is just details. The simplicity of her assessment strikes me silent. When did my rebellious sister become the voice of wisdom? When did our roles begin to reverse? I'll take care of things here, she continues, gesturing to our sleeping sisters. Go see your janitor. The term, once dismissive, now carries affection. I reach for her hand, squeezing with silent gratitude. No more words needed between us. The nurse arrives with the promised wheelchair. The journey through hospital corridors feels endless. Each turn, each elevator, brings me closer to what I both crave and fear. Seeing him, speaking truth, changing everything. Recovery room lights glow dim. Monitors beep a rhythm different from my own. Elias lies still on the narrow bed, skin pale against white sheets. Bandages cover his chest, where the knife wound reopened. More wrap his head where he struck the warehouse wall. He looks smaller somehow, vulnerable in a way I've never seen him. The steady protector now needing protection himself. The nurse positions my wheelchair beside his bed. 10 minutes, she reminds me. He's heavily sedated. He might not wake. I nod, barely hearing her. When we're alone, I reach for his hand. His skin feels cool beneath my fingers. I wrap both hands around his, trying to transfer warmth, life, strength. Elias, I whisper, voice unsteady. I'm here. No response. Just the steady rise and fall of his chest, the rhythmic beep of monitors. The silence stretches between us, heavy with words unsaid. You need to get better, I continue, speaking as if he can hear. Perhaps he can. Clara needs you. I need you. My throat tightens around emotions too large to express. Fear, gratitude, something deeper I've been afraid to name. I was wrong before, I tell him, about control, about independence, about what matters. My fingers tighten around his. You showed me there's strength in connection, in trusting someone else with your heart. Tears blur my vision, falling unchecked onto our joined hands. You cleaned my house, I whisper, but you rebuilt me. His fingers twitch within mine. Eyelids flutter but don't open. A small sign he's still fighting, still with us, with me. We're waiting for you, I promise. All of us. Your place is with us now. With me. The nurse returns too soon, signaling time's end. I release his hand reluctantly, allowing myself to be wheeled back to my room, to my sisters, to plans that must be made. In the quiet hours before dawn, I find clarity I've been seeking since Father died, since responsibility fell on my shoulders, since a quiet janitor arrived with his toolbox and his wounded heart. We don't heal alone. We rebuild together, brick by brick, day by day. Not through control, but through trust. Not through independence, but through love freely chosen. I felt peace settle over me as sleep finally comes. 3 days pass in the steady rhythm of hospital routine. My wound heals cleanly. The doctor approves my discharge with instructions for rest and follow-up care. My sisters prepare the mansion for our return, supervised by Marina from her wheelchair. Elias remains in the hospital. Condition improved, but recovery slower than mine. I visit daily, sitting beside his bed while he drifts between sleep and waking. We speak little, medical staff present, his energy limited, words insufficient for what hangs between us. Clara divides her time between her grandmother's hotel room and Elias's hospital bedside. The custody issue remains unresolved, a sword suspended over their future together. Patterson works on legal strategies while I focus on recovery, on rebuilding, on what comes next. Today marks my official discharge. I sign forms, receive prescriptions, listen to care instructions with half my attention. The other half remains with Elias, 2 floors above, facing his own release decision. The doctor wants him in a rehabilitation facility. Clara's grandmother tells me when I visit afterward. Her name is Margaret, her manner cool but not unkind. Somewhere with full-time nursing staff. That's not necessary. I keep my voice level, respectful of her concern. We have everything prepared at the estate. A nurse visits daily. Marina oversees household matters. The cottage renovation is nearly complete. Her eyes narrow slightly. You seem to have made many arrangements concerning my son-in-law. Elias is valued, I respond carefully. His position is secure, regardless of recovery time needed. His position. She repeats the words with delicate emphasis. As your employee. The implied question hangs between us. What exactly is Elias to me? Employer and employee fails to encompass the truth, yet anything more risks complicating the custody matter further. Grandmother, look, Clara interrupts, rushing toward us with a drawing in hand. I made this for Daddy's new house. The picture shows the caretaker's cottage, colorful and detailed despite her young age. Flowers bloom in imagined gardens. Figures stand hand in hand outside, Clara and Elias certainly. But beside them, undeniably, stand 6 more figures, me and my sisters, drawn with careful attention to height differences and hair colors. Margaret studies the drawing, then her granddaughter's hopeful face. Something shifts in her expression. Recognition, perhaps, of things children see more clearly than adults. It's beautiful, Clara, she says finally. Your mother's talent, without question. Clara beams at the comparison. Sophie says we can plant real flowers when Daddy's better, and Mrs. Adora promised piano lessons if I want them. Margaret's gaze returns to me, assessing in a different way now. You've made quite an impression on my granddaughter. She's made one on us as well, I answer honestly. Clara belongs with her father. They both belong at Vale Estate, if that's what they choose. The conditional seems to surprise her. If? The position is theirs regardless. I meet her eyes directly. But the choice must be Elias's, his and Clara's. Understanding passes between us, woman to woman, guardian to guardian. She nods once, decision apparently made. I'll withdraw my custody petition, she says, conditionally. I expect regular visits, holidays together, a role in her education planning. Relief weakens my knees. Of course, you're her family, always. As are you, it seems. Her tone holds resignation mixed with acceptance. Now, I believe my son-in-law is awake. He's been asking for you. The permission, for that's what it is, comes unexpectedly. I thank her with perhaps too much enthusiasm, then make my way to Elias's room with heart pounding against my ribs. He sits propped against pillows, color improved from days previous. The bandage around his head has been reduced to a smaller dressing. His eyes brighten when I enter, more alert than I've seen since the warehouse. You're leaving today, he says. His voice is hoarse from disuse. News travels fast. I take the chair beside his bed. How are you feeling? Better. He shifts slightly, wincing with the movement. The doctor says another week here, then rehabilitation. About that, I lean forward, elbows on my knees. I've made arrangements, if you're willing. His eyebrow rises questioningly. I continue, suddenly nervous despite my certainty. The caretaker's cottage, it's being renovated, wider doorways, first-floor bedroom, everything needed for recovery. My hands twist together in my lap. A nurse will visit daily. Marina has volunteered to help with Clara when you need rest. Isadora, he begins, but I press on, needing to finish before courage fails. Your position is permanent, estate manager, full benefits, housing included. The rehearsed words tumble faster now. Clara's schooling arranged. Your mother-in-law has withdrawn her custody petition, with visitation agreements in place. Everything's settled. His eyes never leave my face as I speak. When I finally pause for breath, the silence stretches between us, heavy with unasked questions. You've been busy, he says finally, planning my life. My cheeks heat with sudden shame. Not planning, just creating options. The choice is yours. What exactly are you offering me, Isadora? His voice was gentle but insistent. A job? Charity? Gratitude for saving you? The directness of his question strips away prepared speeches, forces truth. A home, I answer simply, with us, with me. As your employee, his eyes search mine, seeking something beyond words. As whatever you want to be. My voice drops to barely above a whisper. Whatever we could be, together. The word hangs between us. Together. The promise and possibility of it. I need to hear you say it. His hand reaches for mine across the hospital blanket. No arrangements, no practicalities, just truth. My fingers lace with his, warm and solid and real. My chest tightens with emotion too large to contain. Fear battles with certainty, past with future. I love you. The words emerge clear and steady despite my racing heart. I think I have since you refused to bow, since you fixed what was broken, in my home, in my sisters, in me. His grip tightens on mine. Say it again. I love you, Elias Cruz. Easier now, like a dam breaking. I love your steadiness, your integrity, the way you see people, not just problems to solve. The father you are to Clara, the man you've been for all of us. Something shifts in his expression, guarded hope giving way to certainty. He tugs my hand gently, drawing me closer until I perch on the edge of his bed. I thought I'd lost everything in that fire, he says, voice rough with emotion. My wife, my reputation, my future. I took the job at Vale Mansion out of desperation, just trying to hold on to Clara, to survive. His free hand rises to touch my face, fingers gentle against my cheek. My breath catches at the tenderness of the gesture. Then I met this impossible woman. His smile appears, transforming his serious features. Proud, stubborn, terrified but pretending not to be, carrying the weight of 5 lives on her shoulders. I was awful to you, I admit, leaning into his touch. You were protecting your family. I understood that. His thumb brushes my lower lip. I watched you change, soften, learn to trust, to let others in. You changed me, I whisper. We changed each other. His eyes found mine, holding steady. I love you, Isadora Vale, with a depth that terrifies me, with a certainty I never expected to feel again. The words I've longed to hear, feared to hope for, now real between us. My eyes blur with unexpected tears. I have nothing to offer you, he continues, voice solemn. No fortune, no social standing, just myself, my hands, my heart. It's everything I need. My hand covers his where it rests against my face. The mansion, the money. It means nothing without love, without family, without you. The monitoring equipment beeps faster, matching the rhythm of my own racing heart. Elias's smile widens at the betraying sound. "Come here," he murmurs, drawing me closer still. I lean forward carefully, mindful of his injuries, of my own healing shoulder. His lips find mine with gentle pressure. The kiss begins tentative, a question being answered, then deepens with shared certainty. His hand cradles the back of my neck. Mine rests lightly on his chest, feeling his heartbeat strong and steady beneath my palm. Time stops. The hospital room fades. There is only this moment, this connection, this beginning. When we part, breathless and smiling, his forehead rests against mine. "Yes," he says simply. "Yes," I echo, still dazed from the kiss. "To your offer, the cottage, the job." His eyes hold mine, serious despite his smile. To building a life together, all of us. Joy bubbles up, unexpected and overwhelming. I laugh, the sound strange to my own ears after weeks of tension and fear. "Miss Vale." A nurse appears in the doorway, eyebrows raised at our position. The doctor needs to examine the patient. I straighten, suddenly conscious of how this must appear. Me perched on Elias's bed, faces close, hands entwined, professional boundaries thoroughly crossed. "Of course," I manage, composing myself. "I was just discussing Mr. Cruz's recovery arrangements." "I'm sure," the nurse responds, skepticism clear in her tone. "The doctor will be in shortly. Perhaps you could continue your discussion later." Heat rises to my cheeks. Elias's laugh, rough but genuine, follows me to the door. "Isadora," he calls as I reach the threshold. I turn back, heart full to bursting with possibilities, with future, with love. "I'll be home soon," he promises. The word, home, holds new meaning now. Not a place, but a connection, a belonging. "We'll be waiting," I reply. "All of us." The truth of the statement settles like certainty in my chest. The lonely fortress I've maintained since Father's death has transformed without my noticing. Walls becoming windows, barriers becoming bridges. Home now means something different, something stronger, something shared. I felt complete for the first time in my life. Spring sunlight streams through open windows, carrying the scent of salt air and blooming flowers. The cottage sitting room glows with warmth and life. Books stacked on tables, children's artwork displayed on walls, a piano in the corner waiting for Sophie's afternoon lesson. 1 year since the shooting, since Lucinda's arrest and imprisonment, since confessions in a hospital room changed everything. My shoulder bears a small scar, barely visible now. Elias's injuries healed more slowly, requiring months of rehabilitation. The knife wound across his chest left a more prominent mark, a reminder of what nearly was lost. I stand at the kitchen counter, slicing fruit for breakfast. Voices drift from outside. My sisters in the garden, Clara directing their efforts with increasing confidence. At 11, Tessa attends the university in town, living at the mansion but visiting daily. Olivia, now 15, conducts science experiments in Father's old study, transformed into a laboratory. Violet and Margot, 12 and 11, have discovered theater and music. Sophie, 7 going on 17, shadows Clara in everything. The family I fought to keep together has expanded, transformed, flourished. "You're thinking too hard." Elias's arms encircle my waist from behind. His chin rests on my shoulder, breath warm against my neck. I can hear the gears turning from across the room. I lean back against his chest, savoring the solid strength of him. Just reflecting, 1 year ago today. His lips brush my temple. Not a day I'm eager to remember. Not the shooting, I clarify, turning within the circle of his arms. The aftermath, the hospital, the first time you kissed me. His smile appears, the one reserved for me alone. That part I remember fondly. My fingers trace the scar above his eyebrow, then the newer one along his jaw from the warehouse fight. Marks of courage, of protection, of love. Marina's invited everyone for dinner at the mansion, I remind him, to celebrate the anniversary. Of cheating death? His eyebrow rises skeptically. Unusual occasion. Of choosing life, I correct. Of building something new from what was broken. His eyes soften at my words. His hand rises to cup my cheek in the gesture that still melts my defenses. You and your poetic soul. Don't tell anyone. I press a kiss to his palm. I have a reputation for coldness to maintain. His laugh fills the kitchen, deep, genuine, still my favorite sound. Your secret's safe with me. Movement at the door interrupts us. Clara stands there, garden dirt smudging her cheek, Sophie beside her with matching grass stains on her knees. Dad, we need help. Clara's confidence has grown this past year, her voice stronger, her smile quicker. The roses are stuck in the ground. Stuck in the ground, Elias repeats solemnly. Sounds serious. We can't pull them out, Sophie explains with equal gravity. And we need them for the new bed by the fence. He releases me with obvious reluctance. Duty calls. Save me some coffee? Always. I press a quick kiss to his lips, then watch him follow the girls outside, their voices already explaining the gardening emergency in detail. Through the window, I observe my family, the one I was born to, and the one we've created. Tessa helps Elias dig while providing running commentary on his technique. Olivia kneels nearby, examining soil samples with scientific intensity. Violet and Margot sing as they arrange stones along garden borders. Sophie and Clara direct operations with clipboard and colored markers. The scene bears no resemblance to the rigid formality of my childhood home. No silent meals at opposite ends of long tables. No performances for father's approval. No fear disguised as respect. Just love. Messy, noisy, imperfect love. The cottage surrounds me with evidence of our shared life. Elias's books on architecture beside my financial journals. Clara's art supplies organized in colorful bins. Photographs covering walls, not formal portraits but captured moments. Sophie missing her front teeth. Tessa's graduation. Clara and Elias building a birdhouse. Me laughing, head thrown back, caught unaware by the camera. A life documented not in achievements, but in joy. The mansion remains in my care, of course. The legal trusts continue. My sister's education proceeds according to father's wishes. I manage the estate from a small office in the cottage, balancing responsibility with a new understanding of what truly matters. Control has given way to trust, independence to connection, fear to love. Elias enters, sleeves rolled up, dirt smudging his forearms. Garden crisis averted, he announces, reaching for the coffee I've poured. Though we may need more roses, your sister has ambitious plans. Which one? I ask, already knowing the answer. All of them. His smile holds fond exasperation. Apparently we're recreating some garden they saw in a magazine, with a fountain, and possibly peacocks. Absolutely not on the peacocks, I respond automatically. Remember the duck incident. His wince confirms he does. Some experiments in animal husbandry are best forgotten. I need to check the mansion before dinner, I say, gathering my notes. Marina mentioned something about the east wing roof, again. I'll come with you, after I clean up. He gestures to his dirt-smudged clothes. Clara wants to show you her new painting first, though, the one for the living room. Pride warms his voice whenever he mentions his daughter's art. Her talent blooms under proper instruction, her mother's gift finding new expression. I can't wait to see it. I touch his arm as I pass, the casual contact still thrilling after a year together. I love you, you know. His eyes found mine across the sunlit kitchen. I know. I love you too. Simple words, profound truth, the foundation of everything we've built. Later, as I walk toward the mansion, I pause to look back at the cottage nestled against the cliffs, smaller than the grand house behind me, but infinitely more precious. Windows open to the sea breeze, smoke curling from the chimney despite spring warmth, because Elias believes every home needs a fire burning. Garden beds bursting with color. Sophie and Clara's vision taking shape season by season. Not the life I imagined when Father died. Better, richer, fuller. The wind carries children's laughter. Elias appears at the cottage door, watching me watch him. Even at this distance, I feel the connection between us. Strong, steady, certain. I look at our home, at him, at the family we've created together. I smile. We are finally home.